Put the people in the box.
Okay, we are live. Just waiting for
Mature audiences. It
Couple
shows
people show up.
people from all walks of life discussing hard topics in a light, funny, and entertaining way using lived experiences. There may be some adult language, alcohol, smoking, and etc. So prepare and buckle up, motherfuckers.
What do you think? I think that works.
I think so. It's just I don't know. It's can be pretty hard to go at this in a funny and entertaining way.
Comedians do it all the time, and trust me, think there's a lot of famous cases that are famously made fun of, like the Tom Arnold case with Roseanne Barr, and like this case.
Oh God, there's always some type of memes,
right? And we're gonna show some of those. We got a few funny things, but we're gonna hit the hard topic for sure. But
I'm probably gonna attack the memes. Like,
yeah,
okay.
And honestly,
I see why this is bogus as fuck.
Right.
Yeah.
Everybody has a different angle from this too.
Well, we got a private going.
Already here. Got Matt in the chat already.
Nina DeFleur in the private chat.
Oh, that would be the person you're next to in the box. Trent. You can't type back.
That's me. That's my gamer tag.
Oh, I don't see anyone in the box.
That's what I use for everything, like my handle.
All I see is me down in the corner saying I'm in the show.
Right, you're in the backstage.
All right,
just chilling here for a minute, hoping that we'll see the other two ladies that are supposed to be here.
I got these horizontal.
That's all right. We're gonna have to get going. Let's see. Let me pull up the. All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome. We got an interesting show for you guys today. A little timely show. We're going to get into that in just a few minutes. Welcome back to the people in the boxes, everybody. Got some new guests. We got some not new friends, but new guests. We got other people that are going to be here in and out throughout the show. Oh, here's one now. Hello, Spooky Stoner. First things first, you guys. We had a really interesting episode last week. I think it was sort of. How do I describe it? I was nervous about it because it didn't seem like it made sense as a topic specifically. But I don't know what you guys. We'll see what you guys think. But it turned out really interesting, man, with all those exotic pets and stuff. That was pretty crazy. We had at least 3 different people with
quite a bit
unusual pets, to say the least. Did you saw that episode, Trent?
Yeah. Didn't I bring up Garthy?
You were on the episode. That's right. Cat,
I can't remember. Fuck, I can't remember.
You did. Hello, hippie girl. We got Matt. We got
people
in the chat.
Hi, Matt.
How's it going,
Hi, Jess.
Hi, Cat.
Cat. All right.
How's everyone feeling?
Good. I was just gonna say that, Trent. How are you doing, man? You're free man, feeling pretty good.
I walked 10 miles today. Half of it was in the rain. Half of it was in the rain with a dead phone. So yeah.
So you felt like a kid again, basically, trying to walk home from.
Yeah, my feet were pretty much destroyed by the time I got there, though.
Yeah, well, you got to take care of your feet. I learned that in the military.
Yeah, the soles are what was fucked.
We got Miss Nina DeFleur. I'm sorry, am I saying that wrong?
No, that's right.
You can introduce yourself if you want to, or you can be like our mystery man down here in the corner. We'll go over him in a minute. But you don't have to rep anything. But if you ever come on, you can. This is your opportunity to rep any sort of groups or anything that you're into. So, but go ahead, Nina DeFleur. Where'd that name come from?
That's my gamer tag that I made 10 years ago on Xbox.
Okay.
It
Xbox.
just means
Listen, I use the same gamer tag I used a long time ago. What's it
I
mean?
use it for all my online stuff now. It just means flower
Okay.
child in Spanish.
My gamer club tab is T slapping.
T slapping. I'm not sure what that insinuates, but
I'm going up. I'm literally shotgunning people with in the game.
Matt, are you asking to come up? Let me do that here. That is incredibly interesting. Okay, here we go.
Since I screwed up my hand, since I've open fractured my hand, I have not been playing at all. It's been a while.
Right. Spooky Stoner, what's up, girl? How
Hello.
you doing?
Pretty good.
Pretty good, pretty good. You work today, didn't you? You get the weekends off?
I did work today. Yes, I do.
That's good. That's good. Got to work with
It's
me here,
exciting.
though. I mean, what's the Canna Queen ship? That's a group, right? That's your group that you're
Yes.
representing?
Yeah, it's an all-female group, but it's got somewhere around 30,000 members. They do a lot in promoting
Promoting like different causes and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. For some reason, my I just put the link in like an old live, so I've got to update this real quick. Matt, yeah, you're welcome to come up, bud. Let me just get this put into the stream. So, Ima, have you given any thought to what you might say to the folks at home on the introduction? Anything at all? Nope. What's that? I mean, you are the uniter, they say. So you had a busy week though, right? Edibles. I mean, you're into
I'm just really wore out.
Yeah. That's what I was picking up, man, from some of your messages and those that giant what was that? A whole table covered in edibles and stuff. Oof.
Yeah,
I'm not there yet.
that's everything for all these things coming up. All the get-togethers and festivals and groups and shit like that. I'm doing okay. White chocolate Oreo fudge, peanut butter chocolate fudge.
Nom, nom, nom.
Yeah, I saw your table.
I'm doing peanut butter chocolate, Rice Krispie treats. Me and my girl are doing Jamaican fruit drinks, iced horchata drinks. I'm gonna make Fico and I'm forgetting a few things.
What's Fico?
Nerd roast,
share this out a couple
gummies, and hard candies and caramels.
Pretty much everything that was on your table. I was like, I know what he's fucking doing.
Yeah, I saw what was
Making all
going
the
on
goodies.
there, and all I could think of is like a sugar rush and then a stomach ache, you know. But it looks good, so I can't wait. Looks like okay, we got a few people stopping in. Hey guys, if you don't mind, hit that share, hit that like button. You know, we're gonna get into it. We're gonna get into some serious topics, but you know, we're trying to keep it flowing, keep it light. We're just chilling. I want to point out that you know, and a couple people told me this was not necessary, but you know, I want to point out that we're just getting started, and a lot of these topics. This is our first little tiptoe into the subject, so we plan to definitely come back to some of this stuff when we can. When we get somebody with a little more professional weight to the subject, not just this subject, but every subject. What are you saying, Matt? 30,000 ladies in one group? That's a lot. Okay, well, Matt, don't get too excited now. I don't think they're gonna accept you in. But yeah, no, this is our first little attempt at this, and I found a lot of good information. But it would be cool to revisit this, like say a year from now. We're trying to like sort of go back through and do the same subjects, but better, I guess, bigger, Anyway, so let me pull up here. I pulled this up for everyone. So I found this picture. It's just the American hotline, and I do have the Canadian hotline. Kat says, "Much love to anyone and everyone who's ever been a victim of abuse."
You
You are
can zoom in on his face and you can see the fucking sadness in it.
Now this is a younger picture. The picture behind me, you might not be able to see it. I found this picture. It's a little bit like more recent as them
Rocker,
older.
that was when he was walking out.
Yeah, but anyway, back to what was? Oh yeah. So we got this number here, guys. I called the number. Okay. It put me on a wait list for 45 minutes. So I got to thinking, I'm like, this is ridiculous. So I looked into it a little more, and let me see if I can switch it back here so nobody sees my Facebook before I switch here. Oh. I'm hearing a double sound here. Okay.
Of my recipes.
I heard
Thanks,
you
Kat.
heard that. I don't know what that was. Might be.
It's pretty hard.
Of whose recipes?
It was. There was a.
I know.
Echo or something. Let's see. Where do I start here? This one here.
Oh no, am I frozen?
You're not frozen, but your
Blacked
camera's
out
off.
your camera. That's
Oh,
it.
okay. Crap.
I'm not sure.
No, we could just
If you
we
did
can
that,
hear.
I don't see. Yeah, we can hear you. Hippie girl's laughing at you. Now that was Nina. So this is the website that I went to, and there's a lot of good information on here. I'm going to start with saying that, but it got kind of crazy because you look into it, and then I went local resources is where it basically sends you, and then when you do a search, like I have this entire list of stuff.
We have a thing called Safe Haven here in DeKalb.
So it sounds like there's a lot of resources, but that doesn't mean they're all good, so it's hard to figure that out. I think some of these, they're not just phone numbers, they're just like other websites that you can look at. And then I went further into this. She's back. Okay. So there's a lot of really good resources here, but so like the title says, we have all been watching this unfold. Even I have been seeing some of this trial, even though I barely tried to look at any of it. Did anybody here watch it? Now we do have somebody that may show up tonight that did watch it a lot, so I'm hoping that we'll get a visit from them. But otherwise, did anybody here watch a lot of it?
Yeah, bits and pieces of it.
Yeah, bits and pieces.
You almost had to, right? It was like all over your news feed.
Yeah.
That and a lot of it was during the day where, some of us are just busy during the week, during the day.
Right. And then who's going to go back and watch a live stream of a trial? All you have to do is wait and see the memes or the cut videos that came out after it. Which, speaking of which, I do have some, but we'll look at some of that in a little bit here. Kat watched a little bit of it. Yeah. She did. Sarah, she did say for us to bombard her, so maybe we should all tag Trista in. Anybody down? Let's see.
Yeah, I thought this was her idea.
No,
I think she was dealing
actually
with some kid stuff too.
No. She specifically said that we're all going to have to bombard her.
Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard trial means that give an alternate perspective. If you're not in the full screen mode, by the way, you can zoom in on your stream.
I actually didn't mean to show that yet. That's going to be a little bit of comic relief later on after we get into the seriousness of it. So what I wanted to look at was this one here. Kat says it was intense, a lot of slow areas, but Johnny's team did a great job. Yeah, slow areas and very weird areas too. Like
the sentencing, when they were like talking about it all, that was kind of confusing.
Like what I didn't get is, I mean, there's so many weird things that the judge was like, having to deal with, you know, from these supposed elite type people. You know what I mean? It's pretty funny. But let's see, this whole website, like we may not read it all, but just defining the what we're talking about is in general is good. I mean, like it says here, domestic violence, also referred to as intimate partner violence, IPV. See, I've never heard that. Has anyone else heard that? Intimate partner violence? Okay.
Yeah.
That's new to me. Dating abuse or relationship abuse. So even someone dating, I mean, you like to, a lot of times you think of marriage or something more like that, but it's a psychological situation that even a few months of dating can become. So it's a pattern of behaviors used by one partner to maintain power and control over another partner or an intimate relationship. Yeah, so I don't know if they define it like this, but you can be, you know, domestic
Just
violence.
read the third paragraph more or less. That'll define it more on it.
Yeah, okay. It doesn't discriminate. Okay. Multiple forms of abuse. Okay, so we can look at a form of abuse. We're looking at domestic violence, but honestly, it's all really close. I mean, abuse. Browser history can monitor. Okay. Yeah, this is the other thing about this site. So I go through it, and it warns you that it's going to look at your browser history. And I'm like, well, okay. And so I don't know. It's like it's very connected, and it's almost like it's recording what you're looking at through the site. But yeah. Anyway, back to the types. Let's see. You got physical. You got emotional, verbal, sexual abuse, financial abuse. Wow. Digital abuse and stalking. Those are the types. Interesting. That is crazy. Oh, by the way, I know we have some Canadian folks in here. I did pull up
international domestic violence.
Where was it? I found a picture of the Canadian hotline number. I'll have to find it in a minute, actually.
It was just there. I thought I just saw it down there in the bottom.
It might be on one of these pages here. No, it's in that other one. Anyway, it's something you can be looked up. I did actually look at this. This is actually really interesting. It's Canadian statistics, and we have for anybody who doesn't know, we do have a lot of Canadian viewers and Canadian friends that are within our communities here on Facebook and online. So I wanted to make sure that I found some information on that. It looks like there's information probably for every country, but it's crazy how this is back in 2015. So you see how old the data is. It's they clearly don't go over this all that often. So, but it's saying that 92,000 people in Canada were victims of intimate partner violence, representing 28% of the victims.
That was in 2015, so, and that's the ones that came forward.
Right. Now there's stats on that somewhere. 4 out of 5 victims of police reported intimate partner violence were women. So yeah, it's mostly one-sided. I'm not going to disregard that for sure. Representing about 72% female victims. Now, to your point, Trent, a lot of this reason is because of the unreported. Like men feel a lot of times.
I bet you a lot more men are going to start reporting after this Johnny Depp situation.
Maybe, and that's kind of why we're talking about it. That's one reason that we want to keep that highlight going on that specific portion of it. So, okay, I should take that back because that's pigeonholing this into a problem for men, and it's not a problem for men. It's a problem for people. You have, you know,
just men are more susceptible to getting violent.
Well, also the old school way of raising a man a lot of times was to get you to hold in your emotions and to bottle it up and to not show your weakness and this and that, and it's just
Mm-hmm.
Rub some dirt in it.
last one here. Victimization by an intimate partner was the most common form of police reported violence or violent crime committed against females. 42% of the female victims. So yeah, in other words, it's a big problem. Back to the types of abuse. These are all things that can happen between a spouse and or between spouses, but also between friends. And I mean, I've had uh, friends
Work buddies.
yeah, anybody that over time is manipulating you, and the violence comes after that. The violence comes after the control. When they find that they can't control you, that's the next step. Does everybody agree with that? Like violence comes after
Yeah.
they try and
No, no, not always. No.
okay. You're probably right, but if they're starting off violent physically, I feel like that's early. Like they usually lure you in over
Yeah,
time.
but a lot of times you feel like you want to be a caretaker at that point, too.
Okay. So
Yeah, but that's still having that control.
I don't know.
Yeah.
In my opinion, in the beginning, it's always the manipulation part.
Every case is
It's
different in that part, but the manipulation
That's
is pretty
true.
much
That's
the
true,
same.
every case is different. That's why I'm asking for the opinion because I'm not
It's usually a manipulation involved, definitely.
I've been at the receiving end, but I've also been a child in of a relationship that was like that, and of course the children receive it too.
See, I can't relate to that.
Right. And so it's funny because the children, in my opinion, usually get the physical end because it's easier to do that with a child. With the adult, you sort of have to get them play these mind games and stuff. And when I was
Break
17,
them down.
I had an older girlfriend. That's who I had my first child with, and she knew all those mind games already, and I didn't know anything. I was like, oh, so yeah. And there was physical, but it was funny because for this Johnny Depp case, it got physical from her to him, and vice versa. But a lot of times, it's different for a man. I don't know about what you guys think. I mean, Trent, I'm sure.
Very.
Like there's this physical violence towards men, but also there's that other aspect. Would you ever see a man say, "Oh, if you don't do this, I'll hurt myself and tell people that you hurt me," like that whole aspect of things, where there's that threat of I'm going to tell people that
No, I can't personally relate to that because I've
No,
never said that. But I'm sure there's been some people out there. Yeah, definitely that
like
happens.
my daughter's mom threatened to suicide with
It happens
she was
a
pregnant.
lot. When boyfriends or girlfriends are breaking up, they go suicidal almost.
Or she actually she got in my car one time in
But
the driver's seat,
depression
wouldn't get
does
out.
a lot.
She had I had the keys, but I was trying to get her out, and she wanted a bruise so that she had something to.
At that
look
point,
what you did!
System. You need a support system.
Sorry about the chat, guys. I'm trying to get back to
You need a support system when you're in that type of situation. Definitely.
Yes, Kat.
Kat says, in my experience, I'd be fooled, love bombed for the first year or so, then show them the truth. Yeah, I mean, I feel like once they know they've gotten, and I think narcissism really runs deep in a lot of manipulators.
Narcissist, yeah.
It's just time. I would try
gaslighting.
Yeah, gaslighting for sure. That's where that can a lot of times get you to not report. Because they make you think you're crazy, or they make you think it was something that you did or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like power
manipulation and the gaslighting turns into a bunch of shit.
Let's see. Oh, I should try here.
In a lot of cases, alcohol's involved too.
Oh my gosh. So when I was living
Or
up
some type
north,
of drug. Some type of drug.
there was
Lead to violence. Yeah, sure.
I lived in townhouses. And in the unit that was behind us, the next morning there was a bunch of police tape and stuff. It turned out that the guy who was actually in the military had beaten his girlfriend to death with an upright vacuum. The 2-year-old kid wasn't there because they were being babysat.
Wow.
And it wasn't a PTSD kind of thing. It was he was overseas and he came back and there was a lot going on, I guess.
Yeah, that's
you never know.
Yeah, for sure. Because it can be a snapping point for anybody, not just veterans. But that's been that's an obvious worry. I think if you're somebody who is dating someone who came back from the war, I think that should be an obvious point of like, hey, I should pay attention to these things. I should read up on it. But a lot of family members don't, and that was we talked about that last the first episode with me. But luckily, maybe not luckily, but I'm more of a imploding person. Like I don't want to go and like hurt someone else. That's not good for me either. So, but you're right. A lot of times people have been through trauma. They become much more susceptible to wanting to control, wanting to abuse. And this was, we're talking about domestic violence, which typically ends up in physical violence.
Trauma can completely.
Well, it was the intimate part,
right?
Because I guess she didn't want to have sex with him that night, and he killed her over it.
It's sad.
Do they count that as a crime of passion? Do you know? Or I mean, because it's so ridiculous how the
that would be sexual
the military courts took it over, so none of us really know what happened.
It's like sexual.
They didn't disclose any of it.
They put it away and no one knows about it again.
See, stuff like that's really sad. There was a couple right in the next town over, like 10 minutes away, and apparently there had been some abuse going on, and she wanted to get away from that. So she was seeking help through this other man, and he was trying to help her get out. Well, apparently they get into like a relationship or whatever you call it. Like, I don't know. Dude ends up going over to their house and perceives it as his girl is cheating on him and proceeds to shoot her and him. And then he left and then took his own life. And this was like just a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, that's actually funny to think about the difference between a crime of passion and domestic violence, because that's clearly domestic violence, but it's
a passion.
What you normally but what you normally think of is an overtime wearing down over the relationship and people getting really nasty with each other and stuff. But there's so many variations. I mean, you can get
just down the street here, about like 4 blocks away. What was it, like a year or two ago? The boyfriend killed his girlfriend and hid her in the closet for a week.
Okay.
Like, there's a few cases around here, like those situations where the girlfriend gets shot or something, and it hasn't been the other way around. Like around here, it seems.
And if you think about it, it's like that's that last bit. Looking at control here, go back to that's that last bit of control that somebody can have. Really, is over their own household, right? Over their own quote unquote their woman or their significant other,
using male privilege. Yeah, treating her like a servant. Yeah, that shit's bogus. Like, you guys are equals.
Yeah, it's like a pie graph. Physical
violence, denying and blaming. Isolation is a big one when you're trying to hide people. Hide everything. Keep it all behind closed doors.
That doesn't help, does it? Let's see. What if I do this?
Intimidation.
Oh, it's on a
Yeah.
website, isn't it?
Yeah, that's better. Yeah. I don't know what it's really saying. There's no like it's not saying that one's over another, but it is definitely pointing towards the male side of things. You see how because like I said, you can definitely use female privilege in the respect of, and if any bruises, any marks, they can.
Everything there can be a female. Every little bit.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's what
It's not man versus woman here, guys.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to point
It's
you women
literally
out. I'm just trying to
both.
keep
It's
it
both
level.
sides. Like,
Now,
this is
but
his
yes,
spot.
but to keep it really real, the men probably do it more than the women, and it's probably more physical coming from the men.
Look at the other countries.
Well,
still
I would,
fucked.
but that's going to be that's going to be a whole other. That's going to be a lot to
Yeah.
look through. So, I'm trying to stick to.
now.
It's still fucked up.
I know it's on the topic of like, not really. It's not really man versus woman, because I do agree that it needs to not be like one-sided like that. It needs to just be people in general.
What is
People
the
in general can
financial
be
abuse?
abused, and people in general can be abusive.
What are they calling
But
that?
the fact that
That's
you can
like-
get
So financial abuse, like I have a friend who is a stay-at-home mom. The guy works.
Yeah.
But she doesn't have her own bank account. She has to do everything through him. So if he gets mad at her and she wants to go get a beer or something like that, he holds it against her. Like, no. Okay. Like she wants to
That's
go
like
do
the same
something. He's like, oh, can you afford that? No, because she's at home taking care of the kids. She doesn't have a job.
Yeah.
So it says here
things like that. But
that it's-
even a male, stay-at-home
it's like
dad, they go through
down.
that shit.
Mm-hmm.
Talking
Yeah,
down,
and that's- that
dwindling one's ego.
This one here, it says that it's rooted in power and control still, which I think a lot of these forms of abuse are. But some of them are externalities, like we talked about with veterans and things like that.
My ex is controlling
it's
you.
actually
One
just,
of us. If I can't have you, nobody
out.
can.
Read it, Trent.
Oh, that. There are many different. Which one?
Oh, I thought that's what you're reading. So,
I was reading
as with
Lisa's,
all types of abuse, financial abuse is rooted in the desire of one partner to have power and control over the other. Partner who chooses to abuse will control their partner's finances, of their ability to provide for themselves, like you were just saying. Where was I? Through their partner's finances. So through a job or public assistance they receive. The following examples are not comprehensive list, but give an idea of how a partner could be financially abused. Okay.
That could be the same situation if you can't, like, if you're immobile, like if you can't drive or anything like that, or
Right.
they know it, they withhold or whatnot. Like same way, like friends, it could be used in many situations.
Control thing for sure. How would you go somewhere with no money or no gas or whatever? It's BS. Yeah, no, I mean the vehicle is definitely, I think, a form of financial control because that limits you on jobs. Like it says up here, joint bank accounts. If your partner gives you an allowance and you are only allowed to spend that money or what you need, yeah, that's pretty extreme.
That's fucked up.
I don't know. I feel like a joint bank account is good in some ways, but that just runs into too many issues.
This is what I usually did. There you go. That's what I usually did.
Just give her the card, huh?
Just pick and choose your battles.
Your partner affect your ability to work, right? And it causes you the consistently late or preventing you from going to work same day, leading to issues or potential firing. Yeah, that's similar to the vehicle issue. Your partner receives your public assistance check and refuses to give it to you. That seems kind of messed up. Those joint Facebook accounts.
I have actually seen that before happen in older cases where the family members have withheld the money purposely because they wanted to get more when they died.
Can I tell myself?
It's like an insurance fraud type shit.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be going to help them, but they're slowly pocketing it.
I think if I tag you guys, it would also go to your Facebook profiles, right? It'll get
I
a
already
similar
shared it
notification.
off of mine. I know that.
Yeah, you got
Um,
two.
And I linked my other
It was a
account.
thought I had off topic there. Let's see, where was I? Yeah, okay. It takes any money earned from you. Yeah, no thanks. I don't think I'm, but there's ways. So this is, it says it bluntly, but there are ways that your partner can take money from you without you knowing it. Like them saying, I need more money for this, I need more money for that, constantly keeping you sort of under water on bills, sort of things like that. I mean, there's a lot of signs. Like, I think it should be equal, but definitely if one partner makes more money, that's how I feel like it should be a percentage sort of gain. I think anybody who stays at home and does the stay at home, parenting or stay at home household, they should get equal respect, because that's a huge job by itself. It just doesn't.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean
It
that
can be
person
harder.
pay half the bills, though. Yeah, it can be harder for sure. But the bills thing is where we used to have this situation where, yes, the cliche is the man telling the woman to go in the kitchen barefoot, to make a sandwich or whatever. But honestly, the reality was life was so hard that you sort of had to make this marriage pact. Like, hey, if you go out and kill some animals for us to eat, or go out and forage, or go out and find us some food, I'll stay here and take care of the kids so that they can get old enough to help us work or whatever. Like, there was this, you sort of had to work to help each other. And now we have this whole weird dynamic where both people can work, but both people have to take care of the house. It's very strange. Matt, could you mute next time you do that? That was a little loud.
Was it?
No problem. But yeah, no, it was a pact because of out of necessity. And now, you don't necessarily need each other in the same way. You need each other more emotionally. And you guys all know, emotions aren't our strong point yet as human beings. I think Kat says, I think whatever works
You're
for the
saying
couple and
yes.
relationship. Well, maybe one day. Well, Elon Musk will put a chip in our heads and shared money, separate money, etc. But it should be both people's
They're
choice.
going to learn about gun laws if they get near me with a chip in my head.
Well, it won't be like that. It'll be, your kids will get used to it, and a couple generations down the road, it'll be like, that's normal. I don't know.
Chip in my head.
How'd we work before that? That's how it's going to be. Anyway, let's see. You guys ready for something funny? Go to check some. Sarah, pardon me, Nina and Miss Nina DeFleur, everybody. Did you want to weigh in on this at all? I know you're got your kiddos there.
Yeah, I just don't like to interrupt. I don't know.
No,
I never know when a good time to jump in is.
What I do is I put my foot in a little bit, and then I stop, and then I let everybody else stop so that I can continue. That's kind of how it works. But go ahead.
A couple things that I've come to find is like not so much that it's pinned girls against guys, but that there's different traits in each. And like for girls, it seems like it's kind of romanticized and normalized to be like young and crazy, quote unquote, and acting wild and stuff. It's seen as like cute and things like that, but it's really abusive, or because it's a girl, it's like not taken as seriously when a girl is the one who is abusing someone.
Right.
Which I think is another reason why it's hard for guys to be taken seriously with that sort of thing.
I think that's changing a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. But growing up, like even people my age, people think that it's like kind of cute to be crazy and toxic. And another thing is, I think that most of it is like people don't grow up as a child and say, I'm going to be abusive when I grow up. But if you don't fix yourself and like work on the things that you need to work on, ultimately it turns into that for some people because they're so overwhelmed, and that's what it leads to is like anger and aggression. So I think it's important.
When you
Yeah, I
said
think it's
they
important.
don't grow up that way, what do you think about kids? Like, do you think there are signs that parents can tell, like a kid is abusing their animals, or like burning ants with a magnifying glass or something? Like, is there a
I
obvious
think, I mean,
watch to see
I
how
don't
cruel
think
they
that
are?
there's like a set amount or like a set rule thing to it. I mean, some kids are just different, but then most of the
Some are
time, people
literally
that,
born pure evil too. Like there's just some traits that can just
I guess being mean is different than being a abuser in a
like
emotional way. You know.
yeah, I feel like when they grow up, it's like neglect has a lot to do with it. So if you're paying that much attention to your kid and like you care about their self-awareness, I think that you can avoid it, but usually it comes from people who didn't have that growing up.
let's just
And
say
Matt,
there's no angry there is
I
no
think
angry dogs. There is only fucking bad trainers.
yeah, and it's not all
go
the
ahead, Emma.
parents' fault.
I
I
think
mean,
I think
Sorry.
a lot of the times it has a lot to do with relationships in general because they never really experienced what a healthy relationship is, and that's why
Exactly.
it's always tied into some type of neglect or abandonment. So that's why
what
they
they've
use
seen.
those domestic tactics against their partner because it always leads to the same thing, them not leaving. You know what I mean? They don't want that partner to leave, so they're going to do whatever they can to control them so they don't. You know what I mean? Now, all those different types and that's just my opinion, though. You know what I mean? I think a lot of that is due to that. And sometimes it happens while you're a child and you grow up with parents and that relationship forms because they teach them that power and control can get people to do what you want to do. And then
Right.
other times it's with relationships in general, no healthy intimacy, empathy, compassion, and things
Yeah.
like that.
I would push back a little bit on that because sometimes you get the opposite. Like you get a father who's an alcoholic, and so that kid ends up not wanting to touch it, never touches the stuff, or like my father was mean to unnecessarily mean to my siblings and I, like in stupid ways, like. Like I used to sit around. I was a wrestler in high school, grappler,
Mhm.
Greco-Roman style, not naked, Matt, just with the speedo thing, But
So
we
you've
would
worn a
sit
speedo
around.
before?
Yeah, okay.
But
But we would sit. Go ahead.
do you believe that alcohol influenced how he would have normally treated you when he was sober?
Well, my dad wasn't an alcoholic. That was just an easy example. I said it, and then it sounded like I was equating it to him. So I apologize. He actually didn't drink much at all. But I sort of jumped over to my dad there because my dad was so dumb about it that I would sit around with my wrestling buddies before like a meet, and we would do our stretching, and we'd all sit around and just sort of waiting. And I would have my own little voice for my dad. He's no longer with us, so he's up there or down there somewhere, who knows. And he would do stupid things, like he would ground me and tell me to take things out of my room that were unnecessary. Because like I'm like, Dad, I could just take the power cord from this thing, and I don't need to take the whole like little just stupid things. I don't care. Take the whole thing. Like so. All right. So my friends would
Use
just
your
laugh at it.
objects as punishment.
He would just go unnecessarily harsh about things when he was like, it didn't make sense, illogical. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
So, but
Well, I
for
mean,
that, like,
that's kind of tied into the same thing, though, isn't it? Because think about
that's
it.
what I mean.
He
I
wasn't
try not to do
properly
that.
parenting you
Right,
because
but
he
that made me
probably
go the
didn't learn
opposite
that
direction.
as a child.
You're right. Well, his mom was pretty strict, but I think he was just narcissistic a little bit, which I said
Parenting
earlier.
parenting's hard, and we're not taught
Yeah.
that. We almost not, in my opinion. Most people that I know, I had my son young. You know, my son's mother had her other kids young, and we weren't taught. We had to learn on our own. You know what I mean? From
Right.
the mistakes that before, and that all depends on the people that are doing that themselves, like how broken we are ourselves. Did we fix our issues and problems or learn from that on what healthy
A lot of
relationships
times
is?
your parents don't teach you how to deal with those things. They try and control you their way, so you go out and learn it your way, and you're going to get
Right.
blamed for doing it the wrong way.
Well,
Right.
sometimes I'm
Which is
pushing
bad
back on this
parenting.
because sometimes you don't always damage your child
It's not
in a
bad.
bad
It's
way.
just
Sometimes you're doing it wrong, but the kid still comes out
it's called
figuring out the right way. Does that make sense?
shit happens.
So what do you?
when it comes to
You're
parenting.
saying that for the most part it's going to turn out badly. I'm just saying that I guess every now and then you still
I
have
think
like I think
I
I
don't
turned
think
out, you know.
I don't think. See, I think it's getting a little too far in the parenting.
Yeah.
We're supposed to be taught, period, what healthy relationships are, what healthy communication is,
True.
what healthy resolution is, and all that stuff. All these things are tied into the same thing. And when we're not taught that as kids, of course you're not going to learn proper parenting because that's a balance. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
But back to the
Between
abuse
discipline.
thing, you can learn that. You can learn
The
abuse
moral
later in life.
compass.
You can
Oh,
be,
no, you can. My
you know-
argument is your parents should start teaching you those things as a child.
for sure. Our relationships in general need to be worked on. Like there should be a whole class on how to interact with people or something. I don't know. And that would be programming for sure.
Your parents
must
should
interact
also
this
be
way.
adding their child to their credit card so they have a built and
What?
established credit by the time they're an adult and they're not.
Now, that's a
fucked.
huge subject about money that we're not taught, which is what we
Just so
should
you
be taught
know.
in school.
It's a good idea. Add your kids
we
to
should
your
have that as a
card.
topic.
They're going to have credit when they're older.
Yeah,
Right.
that's like
We'll
the
talk
first
about that
thing we should be
sometime, for
learning
sure.
about in school is money.
What do you think? What do you think the title would be of that episode? Things we should be taught at a young age.
Yeah.
That'd be a good one.
We'll work on that.
Adulting. Do you know how to?
Adulting.
Well,
Yeah.
and I mean they do somewhat now.
No, the
I
things
don't
they
know.
didn't teach you in school.
Well, I don't
Dude,
know how they
parenting-
did it like when you guys were in high school, but now they do have like consumers ed classes and everything else, and they teach you like how to like budget and how to like do your taxes and how to do like all your stuff like that. They teach you like methods of saving money, stuff like that.
Yeah, because
So
we
they-
could figure it out ourselves. They can't.
They do kind of teach it now, but
I'm hitting the like button for us, you guys.
A lot of times. Right now, there's a lot of misconception out there with the school books and learnings. Like, they're learning a lot of nonsensical bullshit.
Right.
Like,
So,
I
but
learned more in Boy Scouts than I did anything.
would we agree that bullying is like a domestic violent situation? If you have like a neighborhood bully real close and kind of grow up with that person,
It's a huge thing.
I don't
But
know.
also, bullying
think
can
it's
happen
Maybe.
because they're not getting anything at home, so they feel like they need to bully people because they're getting bullied at home themselves.
Well, but that goes back to domestic violence as a couple. You have sometimes where a man, a lot of times, okay, we won't even say gender, but because both people could have an externality like a shitty boss or a terrible job, something that's just that makes them not a good person to be around, and then they end up taking it out on their significant other. And in this situation, I wonder if, the celebrity factor is a big part of it. Like these two celebrities, they both have huge egos. Can you imagine the arguments they have at home, like over whatever it is, the brand of cheese? Like, no, I want
About the movies.
Fame would be
I'm
a
just
weird.
picturing Johnny Depp doing
Wouldn't
fucking movie voices
Hey,
and
Trent, you
acts
gotta
during
start-
all those.
you got to start listening when someone starts talking. Try to give them a minute.
It's
Where you gotta-
multitask.
I know. I'm trying to help you. Ima, go ahead.
Fame, just being known and famous takes away from the normalcy of life in a way I couldn't even begin to imagine what that
Right.
would be like.
That's why I really wanted to. I didn't want to watch the trial, but if we can get our guest on later,
Trial. But yeah, I'm imagining Johnny Depp doing a bunch of different voices during an argument.
You know
Like his
one thing?
acts.
Look, I love Johnny Depp's films. All right.
Like,
The one thing I
I'm
don't
just
like
mad.
that he said continuously in all his interviews, he doesn't watch his own movies.
I've not heard him say
He
that,
doesn't
but
need to.
I hear a lot of
He
them say
lets
that
them.
though.
Yeah, I find that so odd.
I do
Wouldn't
too
you want to
because
see
it
your
definitely
work?
looks different. The behind the scenes, like it doesn't even look like a movie. Like it's just a bunch of
Yeah,
clunkiness
I
going
mean, to
on.
them, it's probably way different when they're watching it too,
Yeah, that's why
because
I
they're
would be
seeing
watching it. Yeah.
something different. Like they see everything else that's there that we don't even see.
Yeah, and they
Mhm.
probably also see their flaws as they're watching their
I don't
acting
think he
Yeah,
wants
and
to
all that stuff.
remember a lot of them too, because like you could think of Robin Williams' case, like he's a fucking famous guy, fucking great movies, everything, but he was sad and all this stuff and happened. He could have been watching his movies over and seeing it and just getting farther in depression.
that's
Anything
an
can happen.
interesting.
Anything can happen.
That's an interesting
Well,
dynamic too, right
Like
there. Is
anything can happen.
and Amber Heard is still on her way up, more or less. I mean, she was pretty big celebrity, but not nearly how many movies Johnny's been in.
Money
I'm
can
sure.
do drastic things to people.
Yeah, so she's probably looks at him as a competitor at times. You know.
but as far as like, I mean, just Johnny Depp and the films he's done and the versatility of different fucking characters, it's just crazy thinking that, you know?
Edward Scissorhands to
Yeah,
Madonna.
fucking
Willy Wonka.
fuck.
those are somewhat still
Yeah, I
different.
Secret Window was one, right? That's what's like a serious role.
That one was a
Pirates
weird
of the
one.
Caribbean movies, fucking fuck.
Now those were, I think that they were going through a really rough time at that point because he had such an alcohol problem. I mean, he still does, I guess, but
I heard him.
they kicked
Yeah.
him off. They had a really hard time working with him on the set. I remember hearing about that. I wonder if that's where he was really just taking it out on his job, you know.
I heard him talking about, so I can't remember what it was. Maybe it was a magazine or something like that. And he was talking about during those movies, he wasn't really that happy.
Nina, did you say you couldn't hear? Can you hear us now?
Yeah, I
think
can
you
hear
can hear
now. I got it worked out.
All right, worked it out. Good. So
I think another thing on domestic violence is like you have to look at generational cycles that get passed down in the household, especially with like drinking, like you said earlier, alcoholic parents. I had alcoholic parents growing up, and they had alcoholic parents growing up, and their parents, and like so on and so on. But aside from that, just things that like, it's really hard to be that person that makes the change in your family. And I feel like a lot of that doesn't happen for people because they're comfortable. Even if they feel a lot of guilt about what they're doing, they're just comfortable. It's easier to stay kind of in that comfort zone rather than make a change. And then, so I think a lot of it stems from that, just people passing things down, and they'll say things like, oh, well, you know, back in my day, we did it like this. Well, back in my day, we did it like that. And that doesn't leave any room to change anything.
Fucked up.
Yeah, right.
Well, to your point, though. Oh, go ahead, Anna.
I held myself back earlier from saying it when I was talking about earlier, but I personally struggle with that. I take care of several kids, and I struggle with the things I learned as a kid. I catch myself trying to enact that type of discipline constantly, all the time. It's hard, you know what I mean? Because I had an abusive childhood, you know what I mean? And I wasn't taught, and it changed because I grew up with different parents throughout my childhood. You know what I'm saying? So I had several different ways of learning discipline and things like that. And I agree with you completely. If I'm learning that and it's so easy for me to struggle with it, of course there other people are, you know.
Wouldn't you guys think that that natural rebelliousness as teens, like I don't know what the percentage is. It's definitely higher percentage on the side of you, what you two are saying. But I think there is a percentage of us that rebel, and when we rebel, a lot of times that's actually towards the good side of things. You rebel against maybe the nature of your family that you don't like, and you rebel towards, okay, well, I'm not going to drink at all, or I'm not, like for me, I think, I'm probably, it's probably good to say that I'm addicted to the cannabis. I call it my medicine, but it's still an addiction. I think I could be easily addicted to something else if I didn't have that. So I have to worry about that in my family too, because a lot of my family is that way. But we're talking about it's so crazy because that's still domestic violence. It's just more of the direct physical kind rather than the manipulation, the long term, because the manipulation side gets physical too, but it doesn't always, it's mental and it just breaks down. But let's go over to something funny here. Let's look at this. Maybe funny, maybe not. We'll see. So the 50 best Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard trial memes. They give an alternate perspective of what's going on. I thought some of these were interesting. Like this is the start of the trial versus now. It's definitely looks a little bit like he's got a little pep in his step now, right? Maybe a big weight's been lifted off his shoulder. He's seen a lot of support, I think, from
You should show a picture of me 6 months ago from now.
Well, he lost the UK one.
The bits I did see of the trial. The bits I did see of the trial in that meme you saw, right? When we were talking about earlier about the normalcy of life and being famous and all that and how it'd be weird. We saw like some realness there in that trial. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they to an extent, all their layers had to be peeled apart, right? And
maybe not so much her realness, but
yeah, that's true. She kind of never did, from what I saw.
I want to see that.
I don't know. I mean, she drank alcohol and snorted coke.
Yeah,
and pot pills.
True. Lawyer, did you see what happened after you left? Johnny says, I wasn't there after I left. There must be something that was said during the trial.
Oh, I'm sorry.
He didn't show up to the last. Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say Johnny wasn't at the very last meeting that they had. Right. He was he wasn't there.
Huh. Oh. This is kind of funny that they equate the Ninja Turtles with Johnny Depp.
I saw that a while ago.
Like, I do not see Johnny Depp as Master Splinter. I'm sorry.
No.
I like Johnny Depp, but Johnny Depp's only a slightly more serious version of Pauly Shore in my book. And I really, don't get me wrong, I really liked both of them. But,
I just wondering what kind of role Johnny Depp played that would be.
Okay, if he was one of the turtles, which one would he be? I'm going for Michelangelo.
Michelangelo.
Mr. Depp had his. Why do they redact it?
This one says, question, Mr. Depp was trying to urinate in the foyer, right? Malcolm said, no. I don't know who Q is. Question. Mr. Depp has his penis out? Question mark. Malcolm, I think I would remember seeing Mr. Depp's penis. Not sure. That's not really that funny. It's probably a real line from I like this one. If Johnny Depp wins the case against Amber Heard, he should also sue Warner Brothers for removing him from Fantastic Beasts. I just like the Fat Spider-Man.
I didn't know he was in Fantastic
The Fat Spider-Man.
His character was good too.
What's that? Oh yeah, it wasn't bad actually. It actually sort of made that movie, in my opinion. Amber Heard.
Which one?
To use the Fantastic Beasts movie.
Oh yeah. I liked him in that.
I'm not going to read them all. I'm just sort of looking through some of them. Oh, that's a young picture of him, huh?
Yeah.
So that Twitter thing, guys. Anybody here use Twitter? Anybody in the chat? Nobody in the chat use Twitter.
Twitter just seemed like one of the apps I wouldn't be interested.
I don't know. I don't use it.
I
do
think
like
ever
this one,
since
though.
I found out Trump twittered, I was just like, no, thank you.
Do you tweet now?
There are people that are still on Twitter that like cut heads off and whatnot. Like,
Wait, what?
like much worse.
Amber
people.
Heard.
The Ayatollah is on Twitter. Like he, anyway, moving on. I'm being pushed to open a Twitter account, but we'll see. I like this
Amber
one.
Heard is just Elon Musk with a wig on.
Isn't it? Isn't that funny?
Oh, Elon Musk cloned himself.
I'm dying.
Johnny Depp is the one guy that could have used an Amber Alert.
Oh, wow.
That's kind of.
Like,
I actually have not heard that. That's actually pretty good.
I don't know that I like how funny it is because Amber Alerts aren't all that funny, for sure.
Mm-mm.
Do you have any history? Of
Yeah,
mental
but I've
illness
never
or
heard it
anything?
in way.
I have a cousin who still supports Amber Heard.
I got dark humor though.
I love that dude from Parks and Recreation.
Pirates of the Caribbean and the escape from that sadistic bitch from Atlantis.
Oh my
It's
gosh.
awesome.
I want to see that one.
I haven't seen that.
Yeah, that one looks good.
That'd be intense.
We live in a society where Will Smith is canceled for hitting Chris Rock at the Oscars, but Amber Heard isn't being canceled for abusing. I don't know. I don't see a lot
I
of
don't
people
think they can cancel
hiring
a
her.
fucking movie like that.
Yeah, I don't see her getting a job very
I
easily.
I haven't heard that she's been kicked out of the Aquaman. She might have been. I don't know.
What's that bottom picture
Her,
of?
Hi, Donna. I'm getting.
I believe she was dropped from Disney Plus.
no, it was shortened.
There is a little
her-
background noise, Donna. It's probably just in general. There's a lot of microphones on.
Johnny
and
Depp,
stuff,
after seeing all the children he entertained for years, standing up for.
and there's a lot of just phones.
That's just no.
Hold on.
Let me just see what happens if I
She
mute
has
it.
lost her
Oh,
script.
she has
Literally
lost
most of it.
her script.
It's super short.
Oh, okay.
It's you, Matt.
You're getting a background noise, Donna.
What is it?
Your microphone might be too sensitive or turned up too high.
Hold on. Let me see if it's my fan.
I don't hear anything. I feel
My fan is
I
like
do.
around the corner.
I have headphones on, Trent.
Was that
You're not going to hear it. That's better.
Okay, yeah, it was my fan. My fan was all the way across the room. I don't know how you could hear that.
Donna and I could hear it. I just thought it wasn't that pronounced. But when my viewers have a problem with the sound, we're going to work on it. Okay. Actually, our viewers. I'm sorry.
Or screen
Depp,
time.
After seeing all the children he entertained for years stand up for him. Oh, meow.
I'll be back.
Kitty.
That's kind of dumb. All right. I think I'm about done with these memes. I'm not a big meme guy anymore. His career, the internet.
Mimi.
It's not a Mimi, Trent. Why did you say that?
It's just that's what I just do.
Oh, they're gonna replace.
It's like you
I
said.
know it's a meme. I just always say Mimi.
I like this one, you guys. It's a good idea. They're gonna replace Amber Heard with Johnny Depp in the Aquaman.
That's just creepy. That's just
That would
creepy.
be funny. Could you imagine if he got that job just to spite her? It'd be funny.
That is creepy as shit.
I bet he could play a woman.
Better call Depp.
Yeah.
Better call Sal.
That's
Saul.
hearsay, I guess. I'm learning. What Kat
I'm
says, I
learning.
think you believe it. It said Mimi. You're probably right, Kat.
At one point, yeah,
must have been-
definitely. And then I was corrected, and I just don't fucking care.
No, you're good. You're not causing any
I
problems.
appreciate it, Donna, because I need that feedback. You know, of all the four of you watching, one of you has got
I
to tell me
say
if there's
what I
problems.
want to say when I say it.
Well, I don't know if we're gonna end up getting Miss T on or not. I really thought she would be able to walk us through this. Let's see.
A few weeks ago, no. long time ago. I just keep to it.
Oh,
I'm gonna keep to it for a while. I'll probably say that for the rest of my life, honestly.
Oh my god, that's such a dad thing to do.
No,
Yes.
no.
Any father has that one thing that he says every day, all the time, anytime.
I'm trying to
Anything's
think of what my
funny.
dad says right now that you're saying that. I'm just trying to think what he says. Fuck does he do? Ah, yeah. If I told you, I'd have to kill you. He always said that.
It's funny, every dad has their little saying, and it's like,
But he wasn't abusive or anything. Like, shit. I woke him up once in a argument with my mom and everything, and he wakes up pissed off or whatever. He comes up and he wrings my shirt and doesn't know he's choking me. So I punch him in the gut and then in the face, and I leave for 3 days and come back. And we've been closer ever since. Just one of those fucked up things.
yeah.
He wasn't aware, and I'm like, hey, pay fuck attention.
Cat says, "Oh, say whatever you want to say, then."
Right?
Blurt it
Mimi.
out.
Mimi. It's Mimi
Somebody
like
said
the road
Cat
runner.
always says,
Like the road runner.
"Should I aid of
You got to do it in the Mimi voice, like the road runner.
our
With the
bones
high
are
pitch.
soft?" Oh wow,
My
Cat,
dad always says should have
Cat, that's
ate
pretty.
us.
That's rough.
Their bones are soft.
Uh,
I've
That's
told
rough.
a lot of people they should have been the sperm that went down your mother's leg.
oh my god.
I'm like, or you should have been swallowed.
Wow.
There's a few cases. You got to get dark and humorous sometimes.
Okay,
Yeah.
just seeing if I get a response.
My dad always
here.
said should have ate us while our bones are
All
soft. Fuck.
Yeah, that's pretty messed up, Cat.
That's literally from
Do
a
kids
scene
have
out
soft
of what
bones?
was it? There was a scene. A troll said that in some movie. A troll said that. I'm trying to think what movie that was. So, Shrek.
Whoa,
All right,
who just
so-
said Shrek?
Yeah, but I'm
She's putting the
thinking
kiddos to bed.
might have been
If
Shrek.
we can wait a few more minutes. So let's recap a little bit here. Back to this website, guys. I want to point people back to it.
No.
It was called thehotline.org. It's can you see that when I do this? Yeah, thehotline.org.
Like he
It's-
should have got rid of us while he had the chance. Because,
It doesn't seem like it's an easy process. Looks like it takes a little bit of time. So I think that could be also a barrier when you think, I need help. But then it says here that you should call the police. Actually, it said it on the phone. You should call the police if, something is more immediate. But that's not always an option either. I know, especially if the person's nearby. When as a kid, we had to move out while my father was at work at least a couple times. We would have to move everything that we could within that amount of time and get out. So it's I know time is definitely an issue because when you call and you hear 35 minutes, that can be pretty daunting to somebody. That can be pretty disheartening when you're like trying to seek help, And what they say,
35 minutes. I'm gonna die as soon as I fucking turn off this phone.
yeah, and they always say it always says something like due to higher than usual call volumes. Bitch, no, that just means that you're shorthanded or you want to cut down on cost or whatever it is. It's not about higher call volumes.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe unless people are just calling about the Johnny Depp trial all day. That seems a little bit messed up.
Oh, fuck.
Matt?
Yeah, my phone died.
Oh,
Mass
no.
pandemic would
You want to have that plugged in, bud.
Yeah.
Take a lap, bud.
This
Give your
sucks.
balls a tug.
Oh, snap. Even the girl had to say that to you. That's
Sure,
Yeah,
tug.
Your balls a tug? Yeah, you're supposed
Yeah.
to do a little slap and tickle.
I went with the more like PG version, but she went straight to the give your balls a tug.
Here, I'm gonna turn off my camera. There.
Okay.
Now you don't have to see the white thing.
That's either way was fine. Yeah, there's a lot of
After we're
resources.
talking
just
about that,
locally.
it's like, here, I gotta turn off my camera.
Everything on this list was just to my specific from my address. So there's a lot of resources, but man, how do you pick one? You know, just go down the list, grab the first one, then grab the next
Eeny,
one.
meeny, miny,
You got
mo.
shelters, you got different advocates and crisis intervention counseling, Alabama Coalition Against Domestic Violence, Alaska Network on Domestic Violence and Sexual Abuse. I mean, there's so many. I feel like this must be some kind of racket. What do you guys think? Like, do you think there could be literally dozens and dozens of these that none of them are scams? It's got to be something out there that's just.
For what?
Does it not say in here, Cody? Should say. I guess you can't
Today's
see it.
stream is the fucks you say about my mother.
Okay.
That's weird. When I put the title in, it doesn't show the title anywhere on the
No.
post. That's stupid.
But no, it's about
Oh, dang, I was muted.
domestics
It-
and cases of different forms of abuse.
It's a timely topic because of the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard trial. We want to use that as our little gossipy topic center point, but we're really talking domestic violence in general and signs and the reasons why and places you can go to get help. There's this pretty good website I found, at least on the American side, the National Domestic Violence Hotline. Let's see. Here's the types. So stalking is considered a domestic violence. That's
Yeah, you can get court orders to be ordered to be away from. What is that called? Restraining orders.
restraining
or
order,
stalking.
order of protection you can get.
Yeah.
But those things don't, and we haven't talked about this yet, but police sometimes are too far away when, you're living with the person who is, quote, causing you harm. So that can be tough too. Like getting away from that person long enough. Yeah. Neighbors can help. You can try calling the phone number, but again, that was 35 minutes.
Well,
Be public.
my boyfriend's
yesterday being at the game because it wasn't cannabis related.
Nothing happens in public.
Well, we are smoking plenty of cannabis, so the couple of groups that I didn't share that with all the groups. What are you trying to say, Cody Mon? Cody Mon, Mr. Cody Mon, you can hop up here. I'm sure you've been abused at some point in your life.
Okay.
So
in a different stoner group, yeah, probably. If you shared to a different base stoner group where they only take like stoner type things, you were at an actual baseball game, not weed related. So yeah, I could see it actually happening.
Yeah, no, that's kind of bogus though for being somebody who live streams on a regular basis. I think.
And depending how many times you share, you might only get one a day on some pages.
I feel bad about that too. Sometimes I'll share more than one from different reasons.
Like, sorry, my shit didn't work the first time.
So how do I? Okay, I can't go back from here. Financial abuse. We were looking at. Okay, safety planning.
How about let's do a blazer?
Probably a good one. Yeah, let's blaze it. Okay. Cat's still here? I don't think so, but she might be, might not. 3 people. I don't know if that's accurate or not.
So my boyfriend's brother got arrested because him and his ex-girlfriend got into a fight, but she was like trying to stab him and like hit him, and he had picked her up and carried her out the door. And because he did that, he was arrested for kidnapping. He He was arrested for abuse, even though she was the one that did it. He had to go to like classes or something every week and all kinds of shit. And like he didn't do it.
So that's what Kathy's alluding to here, is that sometimes the laws can work against you when that comes up. So I guess that's a good
called
idea.
the
Also,
domestic
Hey, Kathy.
deferral program.
hey guys, if you haven't yet, if you don't mind, hit the squish the squish button.
Kathy, that would be the domestic deferral program that you are speaking about. And it is a nightmare.
Where's it for us, Waylon?
Where's what, the like button?
Yeah.
On Facebook.
I don't know that you can. You might
You
have.
can't.
Oh,
in the
we have
stream.
to be. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Wait, Matt, did you say they can back out, or are you just using the computer? Probably.
I'm on my computer.
Yeah, you guys want to know what the domestic deferral program is? It is
Hear
it's a program that
Because I can go here.
lets your significant other come back and continue doing it for a year while you're hiding it because you're afraid of other things again, or a bunch of other things. It's a
Well,
nightmare.
also
It
you
can
could
be.
build up a case in that time as well.
Because they can't do anything to you or anything while in that. A noise complaint,
Well,
anything will
Like in
literally
my
get you
situation,
arrested.
when we went to court for custody battles and things like that, she would try to bring up every little tiny thing that possibly that could be done to try to make the judge think I'm a bad person or whatever it was. And I've even heard the judge say, I don't want to hear any of that. I forget how they put it, like that junk, that whatever she was talking about. I remember what it was, but yeah, it was something that he doesn't want to hear that bickering back and forth. So if you're somebody who's out there who's trying to work up a case, it's not going to be the little things that annoy you. It's going to have to be some real substantial things.
No,
I will be
domestic
back.
deferral program, literally, you have to like turn in monthly basis stuff to the judges, and if you don't, you are violated. There's a whole strict guideline. It's like being on probation, but worse.
Oh, because they're going to be watching you too.
No. They're literally like, if a noise complaint happens, it does not matter what the fuck it's about.
Well, Jules, you can come up and tell us your story. I know you have a pretty interesting story. We need you to fill in some time anyway.
There's a bunch of weird things, really.
Come on up, Miss Thing.
Like it's sort of weird how it is.
You'll get your reprimand later.
You find your peace in all the chaos during all that because you know for a fact they can't do anything because something
should be pinned, girl. Is it not pinned?
So there's that fear behind it.
I feel like there's such a focus on what? I feel like there's a big focus now on like helping people out of domestic violence situations, which is really good, but there's not been a lot of focus on preventing that, like getting people affordable therapy when they're young and things like that. It's not really accessible unless you have insurance or like bukus of money.
Mental therapy isn't covered.
Yeah, there's not a lot of like preventative measures that go into it as well. People look at like what's been done and helping people out of that, which is really good. And there's nothing against that, but like you have to look at the before like heavily if you really want to put a dent in changing the behavior of people. And so then you won't have a reason to, try to help people out because there will be less of it. It's kind of like the thing where it's like they teach girls to look out for certain things in public against men or vice versa when they should be teaching that the people who are offending, like, not to do these things and how to treat people.
Well,
If
and
that
that's a
makes
big problem
sense.
with our quote rehabilitation programs in general, especially domestic violence abusers. Like they just get thrown in like a normal any other offender, when what they're dealing with typically isn't just I just like to hurt my significant other. Like that's not the core usually of the issue.
You can also get abuse or hard by keeping kids away from parents because you just want to hurt the parent.
Yeah, it becomes a leverage thing or just one more thing to manipulate with. Jules, what happened? Where's the link? It's pinned. I just checked. My Facebook doesn't want to react.
Like you can see those vindictive
It's a pinned
cases.
link. It's in the chat. It's the only thing there.
But Cody, you know all of us.
I also sent it to you in your Facebook Messenger.
Yeah, Cody, you know all of us.
You actually do.
Yeah, you know everybody up here, Cody.
You don't got to be shy.
Where's the link? The link is
she has two. There's one in her messenger and one in the pinned link. Got Jules coming up. Jules has an interesting, very traumatic story to tell.
It's spicy.
Hey, this banner is really helping.
Did you guys hear that?
No, I heard her talking, but
Oh, okay.
I heard some type of woman in the background talking. See, right there. Something about treats.
No, I had him try this new barbecue sauce. It's called like Redneck Willie's or something.
Nice.
And he's like, it's really good, but it's spicy.
Oh my god.
All right,
sorry.
so that's okay. I needed a minute anyway. I like this, you guys. Let's see. Can I make it bigger? No, I don't want to do that. I want to.
I mean, you can read it like that, kind of.
You might take Cody's message off
Okay,
the
now-
screen and it'll show
Okay,
better.
stop. Okay.
Yeah, you're right.
And the squish the like button.
No, I'm leaving that up. I like that. Okay.
Yes.
Teach safe and healthy relationship skills, social emotional learning programs for youth. See, we already talked about this without even reading it. The social and emotional learning programs for youths. I mean, boom, right there. And then healthy relationship programs for couples. See, we literally talked about that already. Engage influential adults and peers. Okay. Men and boys as allies in prevention. Okay, so that means, I guess, we need to police ourselves as men, and women may be the same. Bystanders empowerment and education. What does that mean?
I
Bystander
guess
empowerment.
stopping what you see, maybe, or addressing it, maybe. I don't know.
Family-based programs. I get that. Hi, Stephanie.
I feel like a lot of my situations that I got put into were because of poor character judgment growing up. Because I didn't really get help as a kid with what I went through at home. So when I got to start dating, it was really hard for me to cut somebody off because of a red flag. Like I would stick around for a lot of things because I had poor character judgment and kind of like a pushover sort of attitude towards it. And I think it's important to teach kids boundaries, to have respect for their own and other people's, because that's a big part of it. When I was in therapy, they taught me about assertive rights, and I had no idea what those were. growing up until like I was 24 years old and I learned about them and I was like, wow, that makes a lot of sense.
What
Like
are assertive rights?
so they're just like your right as a human being to have boundaries, to respectively like say I'm not comfortable with this or comfortable with that, and without feeling guilty over respecting your mind and your body and having and telling other people like this doesn't work for me. Because growing up I just like would feel guilty for telling people no or telling people like um I don't want to do that or I'm not comfortable with that. Like I had a really hard time saying that to people, which led to a lot of people doing whatever they wanted to because I wasn't sticking up for myself. Because no one ever like put that in my brain like, "Hey, you can do that and that's okay."
Right.
If that
Right.
makes
They
sense.
didn't give you those options. They didn't show you that there's another way to do it, or there's that you do have power, that you do have your own you have yourself to worry about. You can't just.
Yeah. And also,
That
like, when
makes
you
sense.
stand up for yourself, you get called a lot of things like, oh, you're stuck up or bitchy or like things like that. And it kind of makes you not want to stand up for yourself because of the backlash that you're going to get for it, which is also like, I mean, that goes both ways. But just being a female, I've had a lot of guys I would be like, no, I'm not interested, or no, I don't want to do this. And they like hit me back with like a lot of crazy rude things to say, and I'm like, man, am I really that bad of a person because I don't feel comfortable putting myself in this position or this situation?
That's gaslighting. That's well, no, I don't know if that's gaslighting. That's more manipulating you to think that you're wrong for not doing what they want you to do. Right.
Yeah, and I mean it
Smoke
happens.
buddies, I think your signal is kind of low or something. You're frozen.
I'm about to come back in because it's
I can hear
weird.
you. Okay. Video definitely was frozen. Go ahead there,
Give
Nina.
me 5 minutes. I'm coming back in.
Okay.
I guess, and I don't know, like I'm not a guy, but I've heard my girlfriends in the past say things like they expected their significant other to like buy them things or do a certain manly things,
Mhm.
which is like toxic masculinity or whatever you want to call it. And that's like abuse in itself because that's not giving that guy his assertive rights to say, well, I don't want to do that, because it's not like it shouldn't be required to step out of your comfort zone for somebody else to make them happy.
I don't know that that's necessarily toxic masculinity, but it is a level of masculinity that a lot of women, especially in the traditional sense, I think expect from their man, or hope that they can find a man that has. And that's not because they just want a guy that, burps and farts and talks about sports, but it's because they want a guy who can do those natural, the natural role that a man is supposed to provide. Yeah, maybe he can lift heavier objects. Maybe he can do the harder labor, the fixing of the house, the things that women can do now. Yes, with all sorts of new thinking and the new training and tools and all kinds of things we have now. So that's why it's getting muddied. The lines are muddied between the traditional roles because, yeah, you don't have to go kill a bear every day. Some places, yeah, maybe you do, but that traditional role of a man, because of his physical differences, isn't necessarily needed anymore. So to your point, some women are still attracted to that masculinity, but not every man feels the need to be like that anymore because it's almost unnecessary at times. It's
Right.
going to suck though, because I said this before, and I'm not even going to go over that, but I did say a famous quote. Let me try to think of how it goes. Hard times make hard men make easy times make weak men make hard times. It's something along those lines where you have to have this balance, and it does go along with this conversation because violence a lot of times can be an outlet for a man's natural aggression that he just can't handle, can't deal with now, because a lot of men, we can't deal with like office jobs, and you know, you might see men in those positions, but not a lot of times are those going to be the alpha, let's go fight a bear type of guy. I mean, I don't know. I'm stereotyping here, but you get what I mean. Like, there's a generality difference in the amount of aggression we have to use now in our day to day lives.
Right. I also think that a lot of people that I've met, it's been embedded in them to think like the man needs to keep the woman happy at all times, and vice versa, but more or less like just not sticking up for himself, because if the woman's unhappy, it's like, oh, the whole house is going to be unhappy. And I think that builds up a lot of aggression in a man, not being able to like express himself and be like, hey, you're part of the problem too, and you do these things to me too.
That
Because
starts a fight usually.
a lot of
Yeah.
a lot of females are, and I'm sensitive to my emotions, but I know how to, sift through them in a mature way. But a lot of women will overreact, and I'm not trying to be like that towards women, but we do, because we do have that sensitive emotional aspect. And if we don't know ourselves and we're not self-aware, that leads to jumping to conclusions or being not in control of that sort of thing.
True.
Which,
I agree.
yeah.
So Jules, Smoke Buddies there. You want to just introduce yourself real quick? Just coming in late, but not never. So we appreciate it. I know you have a good story to tell. Hey.
Yes, I am Juliana from Smoke Buddies Illinois group, repping for them and me and everybody that smokes weed. Hee hee hee. I don't know. I'm kind of lost where we're at, but if you want to hear stories, I have actually
Well,
three
I can catch you
domestic
up real
stories.
quick.
So
we
what do
did
you want
go
to
over.
know?
Well, we went over. I talked about the domestic hotlines and a bunch of different resources people can go over. We talked about the Johnny Depp case a little bit.
Yep.
We don't have our local expert on yet. I think she's going to be showing up at some point, taking care of
I
the
can give you
kiddos.
experts on
Hi,
that
Devin.
case with the
Okay, well,
lost
if you
degree I
have
got.
some, well, there you go. We because I was hoping, I'm hoping to get Trista on, because I know you guys will have a back and forth about that, because you both have pretty good knowledge on the case. So, but can you give us an overview? Because like, I didn't watch much at all.
I'll
What
give
was
you an
the
overview of the
specific?
case.
What was the
Okay.
specific charges that they were trying to bring against each other? Just I hate him, he hates me. Like,
No, it wasn't even like that. What happened was, okay, I'm just gonna get to the point of this whole situation.
Okay.
When Johnny Depp met Amber Heard, he was going through a situation with the mother of his children. I personally feel like, as any woman would with Johnny Depp, I'm just gonna be honest. If you see a man that is down and out, not happy in a situation, especially if it's Johnny Depp, because I'm sorry, he is sexy as hell. She sat there and
Easy mark.
She manipulated her way into the situation. And because she was not a well-known actress, she thought that she could take his career and put it towards her career to build it, but she did it in a way of narcissism. So here's what's problem with Amber Heard is she's a narcissist, but she also has bipolar disorder as well. Also, she's probably borderline personality disorder. Okay, with all of her fits, the way she acts, the up and down mood swings, she has mental health issues. I do believe at one point she did love Johnny. That too. I do feel like at some point she did love Johnny, but at the same time, for her, I feel like it was all about the money. She wanted to take his career down so she can build she had a hidden agenda about it. So this is where I like to call the narcissism trait of wonders, I guess. I don't know. It's in a lot of women and men. It's in a lot of women, and it's all about control. She took Johnny Depp's past, his childhood, the domestic abuse from his mother, the not loving of his father, them not being a close family, his trauma. She took that, used that against him by controlling him to the point where he mentally and physically just couldn't handle it. And she took that and she recorded things that did not need to record. She posted things that didn't need to be posted, but she all did that for her hidden agenda. Right. She knew that she was going to at some point divorce Johnny Depp. Why? Because she moved from Johnny Depp to Elon Musk to James Franco. When you move up the ladder to multiple people and you're having affairs on your husband and stuff like that, you're just being a narcissistic bitch. No offense, but that's the truth of it. And what she did was she made it really bad for real domestic abuse survivors. I'm not going to say victims, I'm going to say survivors, because this is exactly why cops today, instead of arresting just one person, they arrest you both, especially in the state of Illinois. And
Kathy was talking about that earlier. There's
right.
And Trent, what did you call it? The program?
Yeah, it's like a
hang
programming
on.
thing.
Hold on, Trent. Hold on. I was cutting out your background noise. Go ahead, Trent.
I'm the victim. I wasn't arrested. The city arrested her.
I know, but what was the program you were talking about earlier when
domestic
Kathy brought it up?
deferral
you said
program.
Right, and they do have that too, but it also depends on the situation.
She's allowed to live here for a year, but if any type of noise complaint ever happens, you're arrested.
But see, you're being nice to her.
No question.
Nice.
No question. That's like
that's being literally nice.
Me doing the exact same thing, but
to your point, you're saying that they've changed now to where they just arrest both partners.
And this is why I'm just going to say this is because I just was in a situation.
If there is no blood showing on the other partner, I would have been fucking arrested.
Yes, he would.
God-given fact, I would have been arrested.
Scratch. Yep. If he would have scratched her, if he would have even had a bite mark, if she would have had a little bruise.
No, I'm saying what I'm saying is if I didn't have anything on me, I would have been fucked.
No, that's not true. That's not necessarily true.
In my case, it is because it's the exact same as Amber Heard. It's the bipolar. It's all of it. It's all of it. Everything
where do you live? Are you in Tazewell County?
I'm in DeKalb.
Oh, that's why. Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
We got the domestic deferral program where, like,
you guys got that here.
Therapeutic, like there's med, there's everything being forced, everything.
Yeah, Tazewell County, we both going to jail for 26 hours, and it better be on a freaking Sunday so I can see the judge on Monday. Anyway,
yes.
And I'm gonna get to that, but with Amber, what she tried to do was she tried to basically boost herself up, and it didn't do anything but make her a Lifetime and a Hallmark actor. So there you go.
Yeah, yep. She was using very cheesy in the courtroom. I think because she didn't have a director, she didn't have 1,200 takes.
I can legally say that's all on public record.
Okay.
My dog got stung by a bee. What the fuck does that have to do with you saying that Johnny Depp hit you? And that's the thing. It's all defamation of character. And people do need to stop doing that because it's not just domestic abuse. It's slander, period. Anybody that slanders anyone's name, actually, it is a federal freaking crime. It's a federal crime sometimes, depending on the person it is. So
look who we have here.
They call it defaming, though. They call it defaming.
Look who we got here.
So when you have someone slandering your name,
Sam?
I have people talk about me all the time, right? I could literally sit there and sue somebody just because they said all these lies and did everything they could to ruin my career or ruin how I make my money. And that's what she did. And in the midst of all that, she ruined her career because she definitely going to be on some Lifetime movies. Definitely.
Is this true?
Hallmark will pick her up, but that's about it.
Did she get 13 million? And did he get 50 million?
No. It was only $1 million difference after when it was all over.
Right. It was $1 million difference. The judge settled. She got like a little bit of money, but she's trying to appeal it. And it's like, girl, you don't need to appeal nothing. You need to sit down and try to focus on your child, how to sneak cocaine back into the court because you was doing too much shit that some people I personally know would do in court. I'm just saying. Anyway. But let's talk about my domestic abuse because I'm gonna get to it. Because I want to talk about because I've actually been in multiple domestic abuse relationships, but the one that really
we don't want to hear the super details.
No. It's not even
general,
that.
Gotcha.
It's just like this is Like it kind of sits with the Amber Heard
Sure.
and Johnny Depp. It goes with it.
Did you poop on somebody's bed, Jules? I want to hear now.
No, I didn't. I'm sorry.
All
I
right.
would never go
Okay.
that far. When
is
I
the one
heard
thing
that
I
she
knew about
pooped
it.
on the bed, I was like,
oh girl,
I've been angry, but shitting on the bed is like, damn, you couldn't like. I would have rather her through a glass or something. That's a little weird. But anyway, let me
Next
not get
level,
off
huh?
topic. That's like the next, like that's literally like me going, God damn it, Waylon, fuck you, and then I go, and it's like, what the hell? You might be like, are you okay?
Yeah, I'd be.
You'd be like,
Samuel, can you share us out on your for us if you guys don't mind? Share us out. We're gonna be getting to it here. Jules gonna get down to the nitty gritty.
Yeah, I'm gonna get down to my story. So I was in a relationship with someone. I will not reveal his name because I'm not gonna do all that because it is like we're on YouTube right now too, just so you know. So yeah, and that's why I won't say his name or anything like that. But I was in a situation where it escalated. So he was very controlling. I was more of a free spirit, but the problem was he wanted me to be a free spirit on his terms. So I will say that he rode a motorcycle. I will say that. And his mentality, I had to dress slutty. I had to, be that girl that was on the back of the motorcycle, just looking hot all the time. He was very, very possessive, jealous, one of those people.
Unrealistic expectations.
Exactly. Just unrealistic whatsoever. Nothing made sense. I tried to do my best and I did care about this person. The problem is I'm the wrong person to be in a domestic dispute with because I fight back. So here's the issue.
Is your phone on your lap?
My phone?
Yeah. The camera moves every time you start talking.
That's because I'm on my bed and
okay.
Yeah, okay. Anyway, so I will tell you this story. This story happened where I was in a bar. Someone looked at my tattoos and wanted to look at them closely. I walked up. I let the person see the tattoos. He did not like that. He said, I'm ready to leave. I said, well, let me finish my drink and we will leave. It's not that big of a deal. He made it a bigger deal and said if I wasn't on the motorcycle in 5 minutes, he would just leave me there. Mind you, I had no phone, no cash, no nothing on me. And he literally got on his motorcycle and left me at the bar. So what did I do? I bummed a ride to my brother's bar because where else am I going to go? You know what I mean? Like I have no phone. I don't remember anybody's contacts. So I went to my brother's bar, helped him close it out. My brother dropped me off the next day, like in the morning, we closed it out and I rang the doorbell because I had no keys, no nothing. He had all of my belongings. And when I walked into the house, he out of nowhere told me that I had to get out, and I just proceeded to say I didn't leave anyone at the bar. I said I'm going to bed. We can discuss this at a later time. He decided to slap me. Now, escalate the issue. When you escalate the issue with me, I will defend myself, and when I defended myself, it caused a case where my nose was broken. He broke my nose. I still have to go to surgery to get my nose fixed on this side because I can't breathe right on this side. But he also suffered injuries from me as well. So this is where the cops come in, okay? When the cops came in and they see my nose like this and his face like this and his eye like this and my nose and face is just like this, they're like, what happened? I told my story. He told his story. And they literally arrested the both of us just like they did with the Amber Heard and Johnny case. They both had to give testimony. They both had to go in. When I went in and gave my...
they went to trial. They did not take pleas.
And that's what I'm getting to because we went through the same process. I was not taking a guilty plea for defending myself, and he wasn't going to take a guilty plea for defending himself. So it did end up going to a trial.
Okay? So this was a domestic violence trial.
This was a domestic abuse, defamation of character trial.
So
that I actually
just to be
went
clear,
through.
I would have done testimonies against my wife.
Okay.
But she would have been deported if she went to trial.
There you go. So you just helped her out.
In this case,
Okay, go
though,
ahead.
did one of the two initiate a case against the other one, or
Yes,
was it
he
cops were
did it.
called and there was a
Yes,
bunch of
he called. He called the cops. I just called an ex to pick me up. I was not gonna press charges because I just got in a fight. I'm just gonna put some ice on my nose and go home and smoke some weed.
right?
But
Yeah.
he called the cops. He pressed charges against me, which made me go, well, if you're gonna press charges against me, I'm gonna press charges against you. He did a defamation of character because he said I initiated the fight, I initiated the situation, and he falsified how I walked into the house. He falsified what happened the previous night, and he falsified it all that to where I literally had to get footage from the bar to what had happened. I had to get testimony from the two people that dropped me off at my brother's bar. I had to get footage of me at the bar with my brother because he literally said from 2 a.m. to 6:30 in the morning, I was the one that was causing all these issues. Okay, so that is defamation of character.
You gotta save information, but I would say at the point of court, like you go over that stuff with your lawyer, you make sure that whatever it is isn't going to just annoy the judge, like it happened in my case. I don't think you were here when I was talking about it, but the judge literally said, I don't want to hear about that stuff or that crap or whatever. So you can go too far with it, but keeping messages and keeping anything like that is all essential, because this is one reason, and I know it's kind of, I don't know if it's off topic, but it's one reason that marriage is such a dying act nowadays, or at least I don't know if I want to put it that way, but it's less less dominant. No, you're fine. So when a man thinks about marriage, they think about something like this, where you get into this situation where you get stuck and you have to prove everything you're doing, and you have to, so that is kind of scary. I don't know what is anyone
I honestly
here,
think if I wasn't married,
has anybody
I'd be
signed a prenup?
fucked.
If I wasn't
married, I'd be fucked.
What did you say, Waylon?
Have any of you looked into what a prenup is? I don't know the specific.
I can talk about that as well too. I've been in a prenup situation. I can actually literally tell you my prenup situation as well. But let me get to back to defamation of character. Now, when we went to trial, we had to bring people involved, and it was a big thing. Now, I ended up winning the case because I did have the proof and the footage, and no, I was not there. That's not what happened. Blah 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 blah. I had everything. I won the case and everything was fine, but he did end up appealing the case where we had to go back, but he lost again, and now I'm the devil. So 666 to me, hallelujah to me, I won. But I was being honest. I'm not going to go to jail for perjury. That's a serious crime, and you get a year, and I've already done prison time. I don't want to go back. I will never freaking go back. But let's talk about the prenup, because I've been in a prenup situation. Now, I was previously married at 17. Ooh. And I married someone who I did not know was a millionaire. Okay. So this is what happened. True story. True freaking story. I was in San Antonio, Texas, doing stuff I was not supposed to be doing at 17. A guy approached me and was like, "You're really hot. Do you like working at this bar?" And I said, "Nope." He said, "Do you want to take a trip with me?" And I said, "Well, if I die, I lived once. Let's go." I packed up one bag. I packed up literally one bag because that's what he told me to pack. I told my roommate, "I'll call you. I said, if you don't hear from me, I'm probably dead, but whatever. I'm going because I hate this bar, and this dude offered me a free trip, and that's how free spirited I am. It's like, hey, you only live once. You got to go. If some shit happens, figure it out." And at the time I didn't have kids and stuff like that. So it was a little different.
I do that all the time. Sometimes I'm putting lotion on myself in baskets. Sometimes
bro.
Anyway, go ahead.
Dude, I was wild at 17. But anyway, when I met my husband, I did not know he was rich. I didn't know he was rich until we got to the private airport with a private jet. And when we got to the airport with a private jet, and I'm going to Dallas, freaking Texas on this private jet, I'm like, okay, what the fuck's going on? Because at first I thought I was going to be in like some trading situation, because I was literally thinking, taken in my mind. I'm sorry. Like, I was thinking, who can I call that has a set of skills? But that movie wasn't even out then, but still, that's it. Literally, that movie was out.
People
parties.
take it that way, though.
I know people take it that way. In a co-borrower loan situation?
You fuck.
A co-borrower loan situation, you're screwed.
Exactly. That's what
whoever gets out first, the other person is responsible.
Is responsible for the rest. So that's why I always say discuss your finances before getting married, before getting in a relationship. If you move in together, discuss these things, have plans, sit there and, who's in charge of this bill, write it down, like do all of that because it's really, really significantly important. My prenup was not a unreasonable prenup. It just said, I'm coming in with my belongings, and if I leave, I will get a sum to get all my feet. That's literally what it said. And I cannot touch the company. I cannot touch his money. I cannot touch stocks and bonds, but I can take what he had bought for me. I could take the cars. I could take the house that he built for me. I can take that. The things that were gifted to me, I can take, and all of that. But his personal stuff, the things he built, I couldn't touch. And I was okay with that because I wasn't there when you built your company. So me personally, logically, I feel like I should not touch it anyway.
It makes sense.
I would not want someone to touch my shit if I'm building it.
But back to domestic violence, though, I think it makes sense to talk about those type of things, not only the finances and the assets, but also when you're in that early stages where everything's great, everything smiles, you love that morning breath, all of it's great. You're that's when to have those conversations. Like, okay, now when you get really mad at me and start throwing knives, like this is what I'm gonna do, just so you know. And you maybe have conversations.
True.
Like, you want to know what you do? You actually collect all the sharp objects and you sleep by them.
Okay, that's that. I don't believe that was a great answer.
I don't know about all of that. I would say it might help you.
I guess you would survive.
Yeah,
I agree with Wellen on it. Before me and Steve got married, we had a long discussion. We had a discussion on how our attitudes were, how we liked our house, how we wanted to be organized with things, what goals we had, things we were already doing, things we weren't going to stop doing just because we were getting married. We discussed financial, who was going to take care of what, am I going to be at home, am I going to be an employee, what can I contribute, all that stuff, because it's very important to do. I'm sorry. I've been in situations where I have moved in with people and literally have had nothing because I wasn't smart enough to have that conversation. And I am also a believer that, I'm sorry, back in the 50s, yes, that shit worked. In the 50s, 60s, 70s, that shit worked, okay? But something happened in the 80s, and it's called drugs, okay? It's called drugs, all right? From the 80s on, divorce rates, everything started going up. Now, I do believe that you should live with someone before you get married. I am not a traditional person where you have your own apartment, blah, 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 blah. Because I'm telling you, if you move in with someone right after you get married and you don't know how that person likes their floor clean, or you don't know how they live, and you're moving into their house, you already just caused the problem. So don't be all scary. Just move in. If y'all really feel that connection within 6 months to a year, move in and do your trial period. That is my marriage counseling. I am certified advice.
Okay.
So I am married right now, and that is facts. Like, Yes,
Well,
facts.
You
but
Gotcha.
live with someone first. I don't
okay,
care. You
that's
live.
still not 100%. I mean, I agree with you, but to like Trent's point, you maybe live with them for a while, then you get married, but then still down the road, uh, I don't know. I don't know if it's the wearing of relationships in general, but also
Get
like,
pushed away.
well, but if has anyone here had a roommate, not a significant other?
Yes, I've had 18 roommates.
Doesn't it feel very similar? If besides the sexual side and the passion and the that part, but it's very similar because you maybe moved in with a friend, had a best friend as a roommate. I did, and we were fighting each other by the end. You know, like you
Oh,
hate
me and
each
my
other
best
by the
friend
end,
still fight. We were fighting when we lived together, and we fight on Facebook. We
right?
gonna fight to death because we got the same birthday. We got attitude problem.
Well, but you're still
Anyway.
friends though.
No, we're still. I'm friends with all
That's
my
an
roommates because
that
I'm a
that's
very
even
difficult
unusual,
person to.
right?
I'm a very difficult person to live with. Okay, because I
Everybody
suffer from
is,
mental is, but
right?
I suffer with mental illness. I'm a schizophrenic bipolar person. So if I hear some drama or something going down, I'm the first person to be like, if y'all don't shut the fuck up, because I already got 8 people living in my motherfucking head. So I'm more of the
Eight.
difficult one to live with.
So you're
So
talking
I just warn people that stuff. But
Right.
with the whole relationship advice and everything, and you can see domestic violence if you open up your eyes. Okay, this isn't
There are
something I'm going to
signs,
give.
yeah.
No, I'm gonna give advice.
I
Okay,
got it.
when someone shows you who they are, accept that because they are showing you who they are. So if you got with a man that literally is like, I don't like the way that you wear that dress. I want you to wear this one. I don't want you to talk to this person. You're with me, but he is showing you that he is a controlling person. There's your red flags.
Trying to
If
have
you
a
get with a
question.
woman, if you get with a woman that all she does is sit there and talks about herself, or she sits there and is like, well, I want this, I want to look like this, or you can't do this and that, it goes the same way. It doesn't matter. Stop like thinking that you can change people. Only the people can change themselves. So when you get in relationships and you see those red flags, follow this, because at the end of the day, most of the time they're not going to change. So stop expecting things out of people. You know what I'm saying? There is no expectations. When you go
Right.
into relationships, you have to analyze. And I always tell people, because they always want to go through the honeymoon phase where you lovey-dovey. All right, I'll get it in a minute. Have the cat get it.
That's right.
Oh, well,
I'm gonna
whatever.
get off here,
I'll be right
everybody.
back. All right. Sorry.
All right,
Talk to you
420.
later.
You guys all have a good
Good
day.
night, buddy. Thanks
You
for
too.
stopping in.
Have a good night.
Yep.
Because domestic abuse is just not physical, it's also mental. It's it's a bunch, it's verbal. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
If you have a woman that sits there and goes, I don't like your outfit, or they're always knocking you down, but it's in a sarcastic way, that's still verbal abuse. Even if it's in a sarcastic way, it's still a form of
Well, I'm
verbal
just
abuse.
joking, right?
Yeah. Oh, I'm
Yeah,
just
but
joking. I'm just no. If a woman sits there and says, or a man sits there and says, "Oh, you're gonna wear that," ha 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 ha, and they're just like, "Oh, I'm just joking." No, they're not. They're being serious. They're showing you who they are. So I always tell people, because I used to do this little counseling thing in Virginia, and I quit doing it because if I heard one more person, I was gonna slap somebody. I'm not gonna lie. I'm just
I
not a
think
counselor.
I think you mentioned that.
I'm just not. I will give advice, but I can't sit there and listen too much to certain people because it's like I want to slap them to
I
get
got
it in their
5
head
hours
what
of
you got
that.
to do.
Yes, I got 5 hours of that the other day, just sitting here on the balcony.
I'm gonna send you all the good juju because I sure would have slapped a hoe.
I get
Anyway, your wife. You said your wife is bipolar, correct?
Yeah, I did it in the private chat there. It's literally what you're talking about, but it's unmedicated.
Okay. To handle an unmedicated person, because right now I'm a functional unmedicated person. It does take therapy, but because she is not medicated, you have to just know the triggers. And a lot of the triggers with
Oh yeah.
bipolar is just stress. Okay, because we
Mhm.
overthink. So
Well,
the
that's the
more
problem with
she
the.
feels less stress, the
Yeah.
better it could be. Like if you sit down with her and talk to her and say, honey, are you stressed? Sometimes you have to baby us a little bit more even when you don't
Oh
want
yeah.
to.
That goes
But
both
it,
directions.
it,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
it does, but it's harder when you have a mental
Mhm.
illness because bipolar disorder, you have a disconnect of your emotions and you have mood swing issues. So like you can go from very happy, I love you, to I freaking hate your guts. I'm going to literally maybe do something wrong, okay, to you. Okay, it's a fluctuation. And it's also a fluctuation of you have your highs. When you're high, you want to clean your house, you want to do this and that, you want to go, 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 go. And then you have your lows where you just want to lay in bed all day and stay depressed.
And
So
I
I
think everybody
require
has a
you
little
to
bit of that, but
real.
you're
They
going more to
probably
the
do,
extreme.
but
Yeah.
I know it's difficult to live with your wife right now and stuff. But I would just research as much as possible to see
Well, it's
if you
not about
could.
that. It's already been destroyed past that point where there's no repair. Like it's been scissors and knives to beds to clothes. It's literally been a nightmare from the beginning. It's done. I'm just waiting until it's all done.
Yeah,
It's
there's
pretty much.
nothing there. I
Hey,
don't
if
I
think
you want
want.
to inbox, hey, you should inbox me later.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah.
Inbox me later. I inbox me later. Anyway, but that's just my personal advice. I've been in an Amber Heard trial, Johnny Depp trial before, and it was bull. It was full of BS, and it was It was a wasteful taxpayer of Illinois taxpayer money.
so what
Yeah.
about their trial though? What were the big points besides her shitting on the bed? I don't know. Wasn't there
Oh, the
something
big
about a
points
glass
were
bottle that
okay.
then he
So
cut
this is what
somebody's finger?
happened.
Baking.
She claimed that he pushed her up against the wall. He cut her panties off. He
Sounds hot
physically
and sweaty right
pushed her.
Right.
now.
Me personally, when she said it, I was like, "Ooh,
Oh damn,
oh
Johnny, I didn't know.
damn." I was like, "Johnny, you pushing people up?" Like my mind went left. It didn't. I was like, "If you don't stop talking, I don't feel like that's physical abuse at all." And it's not just me, ladies. You already know Johnny looked good. Anyway, but beside the point, those were her key points. Oh, he pushed me down the stairs. Oh, she was just one of those. If you poked her, she was gonna fall on the floor and blah blah blah. That's
Look what
just
you
what she was
did.
gonna
Yeah.
do. Look what you did. And Johnny is not a violent person. He's a
No.
person that rather have a drink, like he said, a mega pint, and walk away. But here's the problem. She threw glass at him to where she cut his finger off. She nagged at him. She pushed him against
He
walls.
just
She
poked and
physically
poked
attacked
and poked and
him
poked and
and
poked.
poked and poked and poked. But what I have to give to Johnny, though, is the only thing Johnny did that was bad was he just talked crap about her. That was it. He never laid one finger.
He just came
said
back with the verbal, right?
with the verbal. And when
Krista
she
was
was
talking
doing
about that.
right, yeah,
Reverse.
all these
What's it
verbal.
called? Reactive abuse. Something
Yes,
Yeah.
it's reactive abuse. Yes, it's you want to poke, 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 poke to get a reaction to
Gaslighting.
make you look like
Reactors.
gaslight. Yeah, thank you,
Yes.
gaslighting. You're gaslighting, and that's basically what she did.
Mhm.
Because in one of the videos, he literally found out his mother passed away. Okay, now think about this: you have a mother that was abusive to you your whole childhood, but at some point you forgave her. You kind of build a semi relationship with her, right? And then she dies and you have a significant other that instead of consoling you, what's wrong, Johnny? What's wrong? She knew what was wrong. What's wrong, Johnny? He's slamming, cupboards and stuff. And he's like pouring a glass of wine. Why? His mother just died two days ago. And
Right.
she's recording this. And then after recording this, she's sending it to TMZ and then lying in court saying she wasn't the one who sent it. That's wrong. You don't do that to anybody. Johnny
She's a
Depp
lot
doesn't
younger,
even
isn't
watch
she?
his own movies. Yes, she is, and dumb. But like Johnny Depp doesn't even watch his own movies. So that tells me Johnny Depp as a person, he's one of those very just like I want to be chill with my own people. I'm private. I don't want to be all out there. And she really put his business out there. And I feel like mentally it has destroyed him. It really has. And he's not going to be with a woman for a while. I feel like he's
that's
going to be
right.
single for a while. I feel like he's just going
How
to
old is
focus
he
on
anyway?
his
In his
music at
50s?
this point. He's like
60s?
in his 50s. He's like 54, 5,
He's not.
something like
He's
that.
not that old. He's not that old.
I
I feel
thought
like
his
he really
girlfriend
is
was
that
at
old.
the thing.
No, I mean he's not that old. Like
No, they're
50s.
saying that
50's not that
they were
old.
saying that the lawyer is his girlfriend, and that's not true. They were saying because he was having so much chemistry with her, they're dating. And it's like, no, he was being polite and really showing how he is. He's polite to his fans. He fed all of his fans waffles just for freaking standing out there to support him. He was
Yep.
just showing how generous. Like the man goes to children's hospitals dressed up Jack Sparrow. Okay, the man went to Disney World dressed up, did not get paid for it as
It's
Jack
awesome.
Sparrow. He's
He does a
just one of
lot.
those very generous. He has paid for college tuition. He has helped people get out of prison that were falsely accused.
He's an easy mark for somebody
so
like
many
that.
things.
For
Yeah,
a
so he was
narcissist,
like,
you know.
yeah, he was just an easy target to be played. And I really hate it because it's really sad because now you can just see mentally how drained he is, and you can see mentally like
Trent, I don't see you the same way.
it's
I
off.
don't
No,
see
you should have
Right.
saw me. That's what I'm saying. 6 months ago to now.
Okay, but
Yeah,
what
'cause
I'm saying
you
is
take- yeah.
no offense to you, but you don't have like millions of dollars that
Oh,
like
fuck
something that was
no.
obvious. Like
That would be
like
amazing.
She targeted him for his
That would
like
be
a clout
amazing.
chasing. She was chasing his clout. She was trying to use him to springboard off of his.
He got her the
Just
Aquaman
trying to
role.
scare him away.
So I'm just gonna be honest. She got like he even said in court, "How do you think she got that role?" It was me. Like he's the one who called and got her that
We
Aquaman
believe
role.
it wholeheartedly.
And
right
Jason
there.
Momoa, Aquaman himself, even confirmed that was true. So
I think I heard that
know?
before she got the role.
It's funny that
yeah,
he would
before
weigh in
she
on
got
it.
the
I
role,
believe
they
I
had
heard
no
something
chemistry
about that.
whatsoever. And I'm not even trying to be I'm not even trying to be rude, but Jason
Hi,
Momoa
Kat.
is going through a divorce because of Amber Heard right now from Lisa Bonet. Like I did not
He
even know
seemed
you
like
could
a
mess
great
up.
dad too. Like
No,
everything.
he's a great
Come on up,
person.
Kat.
It's just her. You know, he said like she would call in the middle of the night. If I was his wife, I would be mad too. I'm sorry. If it wasn't gonna stop and I probably would have been like, you gotta go.
Oh yeah,
Bye.
we're still live.
I'm too old for that. I'd be like, I'm too old for that. You gotta go. You cute, you sexy, you Aquaman, but I'm Lisa Bonet. I can get anyone. I'm sexier. Cause that woman, oh my God, is gorgeous. That woman looks so good for her age. Have
Yeah,
y'all
she
seen her
does.
recently? Oh my God. And then you got Zoe Kravitz. I'm like, oh my God.
What are you
Skin
talking
complexion
about?
just beautiful. I'm talking about Lisa Bonet. Anyway, sorry, I got off track. But but that's all I'm saying. That's just what it is. I think everybody should just go get help if they need it.
Thank God.
Stop acting like you can't go get help when you have mental issues. I think everybody needs to worry about their own money and stop chasing other people for money. Because I see a lot of young ladies and young men doing that nowadays. They think being a sugar baby and doing all this is okay. It is not okay.
Yeah, I see that a lot on dating
fix
sites now.
yourself.
So Ima,
Go fix yourself.
Did you
None
say
of
that
it
you
broke.
had a
I just
stepdad
tipped this over.
when you
Fuck
grew
it.
up?
Hard.
That was maybe that wasn't you. Did you say one of your dads
Yes,
were like
sir.
a little rough on you?
Yeah.
So I think that's a different dynamic because I had my dad as a rough,
So true,
male figure, I guess. But I never had my mom was with other guys when I was
So
younger,
true,
but nobody I remember.
Dang
You
it.
know.
I can't believe I did that.
A lot of that.
Go ahead.
Hey, Jules. Speaking of which, well, let me say this first.
Go ahead.
A lot of that too had a lot of alcohol involved, and like I was kind of saying before, he was raised without a dad, and didn't know
and an
how to
abusive mother.
and didn't know how to properly parent either. And knowing what I know now and how I struggle with that now, to looking back then, I could see how easy it was for him struggling with parenting and stuff because he was passive aggressive and nice and mean and all that stuff. my whole childhood. Well, the whole time I spent with him in the household and stuff. But yeah, so it's different. Like I said, that's why I think a lot of that's tied into how you grow up and
Cat,
how
It
you
is.
learn
It is.
about
It does
how you
stem
learn
from your
about
childhood. Hell yeah, it does. My
how you
mother
learn about
literally.
relationships and all that
Oh
stuff. You
yeah.
learn that.
My mother was married 3 times, had men in and out of the house all the freaking time. She scammed everyone. She told people that like we didn't have money when we did. She told people that my dad didn't have a job. My dad had 2 jobs. Like my mother poked at my mother was an Amber Heard. I'm going to be honest. She put my father in so many situations where I'm shocked that my dad didn't go to jail for a long time. You know what I mean? Because that was my mom. And, I learned from my mom not to be like that. And it took me a while, but I just had to be like that, one of those people that like, if I do something wrong, take accountability. If I'm not ready, if I don't love myself, I can't love no one else. If I can't fix myself, I can't help anybody else. If I can't focus on me, I can't help anybody focus on what they're doing. If I can't have my mental right, I'm not good for no one. And that's something that I was taught by my grandmother. My grandmother to me was my mother, and she taught me that even though in bad situations, there was still that silver lining because it's called life. She told me one of her favorite sayings was, you can't control life, honey. That's what she would tell me. She'd be like, you cannot control life, honey, because every single day some shit is gonna happen. It's either you take it or you fall apart. What are you gonna do? I think you should just take it and move on and live. You do not exist in this world, you live in this world. And if you can't live and then you're just existing, then don't do nothing at all and be a bum. That was her favorite freaking saying.
It's kind of like
and I
what
took
Sarah
that to
says
heart.
here. So she says that she wasn't taught what she deserves. It's interesting because
I can teach you.
well,
Treat others the way you want to be treated.
And I don't know if this brings up a different topic, but when you look at a lot of times women, from the man's perspective, we feel like, oh, well, girl, you got all these guys in your DMs, you got people telling you you're pretty, whatever. So we take that as this girl knows she's got something special. But to Sarah's point, you may still think low of yourself enough so much that your boyfriend or husband or whoever can manipulate you to think even less.
I was like that when I was younger. I was like that when
Right.
I was 17, 18, 19, 20.
You don't really know
21.
your potential. Mm-hmm.
I didn't know my potential when I was younger, and I let a lot of guys manipulate and take advantage of me with that because I didn't love myself. It took an accident for me to love myself. So I was like, I'll be damned. And then I turned into a bitch, and then everybody says I'm evil and I'm Satan's daughter and stuff. And then I go, whatever.
Go ahead, Irma.
Well, like you were saying,
we love
Jules,
Satan's daughter.
A lot of those relationships that are toxic and abusive like that, it's really, if we get down to it, it's about that. Those people also have issues and problems.
Okay, and come right back.
And they aren't healthy and don't love themselves. And that's part of the beginning of that problem. That's why they have unhealthy relationships. That's why they do all that shit.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why we get shit twisted. We get filled into so much of that hate. We shouldn't be spreading that hate. We shouldn't hate those people. We should be working on how to fucking fix their issues and their problems instead of just saying, like Amber, like she's saying about Amber. Everybody's like, fuck Amber. Yeah, she did fucked up shit. It was all fucked up. I agree. But she has issues and fucking problems. That's why she's like that.
Do you think she's a gold digger, or do you think that was something that came through some of the drug use and other issues that she has?
I'm surprised my anxiety's letting me do this right now.
I mean, all the mental
Probably
problems cause all that shit anyway. So
this was up here. Up here. Okay, up here.
Yeah, I don't think she was just
with
grabbing
Amber
for money. I think she was...
it wasn't just for money, because she actually years ago before she even met Johnny Depp was in a relationship with a woman, and she had a domestic abuse case against her on that woman. So
I heard about that. Yeah.
she has a lot of mental issues, and like I said, I already know what she's diagnosed with. She's borderline personality, bipolar. That's what she is, because she's too up and down. She goes from crying to not crying
You
to
know,
acting to happy to sad to doing all these
it's
little up and down. It's just borderline personality and shit. She's halfway. She's just in psychosis,
There's
bipolar
that
psychosis.
too.
it's sad, but I mean,
Maybe
just
it's that. I don't know. I don't even
just
know.
my opinion. Bipolar disorder. That's such a sad
Cheers.
and complicated, and you have to be patient. You have to have patience with dealing with people with that and helping them, because that, if you've
not
read
their
books
fault.
on that, it's almost
It's not their fault. That's the thing, but it becomes their fault when they do nothing about it.
yeah. The ones that
Speaking,
acknowledge
yeah.
it and try and address it and try and treat it and try, you know what I mean, are the ones that, you know what I'm saying. But it's almost as I don't want to get off subject, but it's almost as complicated as autism. Autism's a whole other subject, though.
It takes years too.
No,
Yeah.
I take my bipolar seriously, because at some point with your wife, her bipolar is going to take her to a place where she's not going to be in a reality, and that's what mine
That's
did.
what I mean.
Mine
Yeah,
took
and
mine
they
to a
can't.
It's
place
the
They can't. Right.
delusional.
and her reality is going to cause her to do something really bad, like what I did to myself in 2000. What I did to myself in 2018, and when I woke up being tied down and they told me what I did, that's when I was like, send me upstairs. I'm holding accountability. I don't want to lose my kids. I just want to work on why I felt this way. And when I dug on deep on where that came from, it was like, okay, it came from me not having a loving mother. She blamed me on for everything that she didn't want. It was my fault. It was the trauma of being, as a child in situations that I was not supposed to be as a child. It
Well,
was me having a child
child doesn't know how to recognize.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It was me, being involved with a an organization, I should say, because it ain't a religion, it's a cult that allowed, a 13-year-old to sit by someone who, at 13 became a mother. It's things that were so trauma. Like, I have PTSD, anxiety disorder, I'm ADHD, bipolar, and I'm schizophrenic. And I don't have any shame in it, because I went and I finally got help and figured out, oh, this is what's wrong. This is why I was violent. Because I'll be honest, I have sometimes been the domestic abuse person, where I don't even realize that I'm being abusive. Like, literally, I'm so out of it. Like,
It's
I have
recognition,
thrown things at people. Yeah, like, I hold accountability. I have thrown things at people. I have hit people in the face. I have pushed people, that I've been in relationships for. And I hold accountability for that all the way, because it's like, when I figured out that, yeah, this is my issue and this is why I'm doing it, it's like, oh, I was a bitch. It's like, I'm so sorry. I have apologized to everyone that I have done something to, if they would accept
What would you call that? Retroactive remorse? No, it's just remorse, right?
It's remorse. It's
Yeah.
me being accountable for my actions,
Right.
and me saying that it's just me holding accountability,
But to Kat's
and
point,
giving
though,
them closure and saying, I'm sorry.
like what she's saying, similar to you, having multiple things, you're accountable to yourself first, and I think,
right.
But I think recognition of what's happening is the
Literally,
first.
I have all those.
Being able to
too.
say, "Oh,
Like,
I can feel that mood swinging," like that, like me when I get angry with my son because whatever it is, he's back talking me.
I have anger
I
issues
have to
because
stop
I lost my son.
and recognize it. I have to,
Like,
yeah, okay, that's a different twist.
I
But
think
the point is that you have to recognize it, and the faster that you can, you get better and better at recognizing it while it's happening.
fuck, I broke my hand.
It has to be exercised. It has to be what am I thinking here? Like, worked out. You have to strengthen that ability to recognize.
I'm even looking
Go ahead,
around
Ima.
to see if the Jeep's here to fucking see if
Yeah,
I'm
you're
saying too
paranoid. I
much.
can
Like,
see it.
fuck.
I feel like, you know, we could have given you another alias, and you could have been no camera, and we could have been just called you like Sanchez or something.
It's all public. I wish. Hey, guess what? It'll make it fucking easier for me.
Yeah, but you know, you haven't said anything
You
too
should
terrible.
just talk. You know what? You haven't
I
said
think-
anything wrong, and it's good to talk about it. So shut up.
Yeah.
It's a whole
Go ahead,
thing.
Emma.
Exactly.
I think
The whole thing. I just gotta talk to you after.
to add on to what Kat
If
said,
that's the case, but
Yeah.
I'm
That's
really
that-
fine.
Go
Really
ahead.
good, actually.
that's that point where
Like I got
It's
the light at
the-
the end of the tunnel.
Trent, come on, bro.
those people that want to help themselves and the people that don't, that's where we hit that wall. You know what I mean? Because it's just like people that are compassionate, just like me. I try and help others. But those people that don't help themselves, I'm not going to try and help them unless they're at a point where they're in that state where they can't. But that's the whole thing about bipolar disorder, recognizing what it is. It ties into that. You know what I mean? Because like Jules had that moment of, you know, clarity where she knew she needed help. You know what I mean? She wanted to help herself, really. You know what I'm saying? She was helping
I had
herself.
to. I had no choice, because it's like when you sit there and you do something that is so, like, I didn't think about my children. I didn't think about my mother.
Yes,
I didn't
Sarah.
think about no one but myself. And I was going to answer Sarah, and it is when you use your mental health as an excuse to continue your baby. That's what literally. I didn't even know I was doing that. Like, I would just be like, I'm bipolar. I'm just bipolar. I would do that all the time. And it took that incident and that accountability to say, no, I am bipolar, but we ain't about to live like this forever. I have never put my hands on my husband. I have never threw anything at him. I have never, when I get angry, I literally just let him know I'm mad. He'll walk away. I walk away. I deal with every coping mechanism that I have learned. And I go 3 times a week to therapy, 3 times on the phone with therapy. I do not care. And
have
I
you
tell
heard
people
about other things besides what you're doing now? Like, have you heard about probiotics, Jules?
I've done probiotics. I've done the
dietary issues with us that actually change our emotional state, like our gut health and the way that we're eating all this garbage these days. It's something I get more into because of the autism with my son. But I wholeheartedly believe that when you have somebody who's angry all the time, diet is one of the first things I'm looking at these days, because I'm like, okay, this person eats fast food all day or whatever. It's like,
how you do with your
like
body?
This shit?
What do you got? Fiber System Plus, huh?
Hey, I had some of that once.
Like this shit? Yeah.
A lot of what you take in has a lot to do with your mental health. And a lot of the issues with your body affect your mental health a lot.
Yeah.
I
You
can
guys
see that,
gotta remember
Kat.
everything in your head. Remember, your brain controls everything in your body. So whatever, if you're negative, you're gonna have pain, you're gonna have sickness, you're gonna have all these issues. When you're positive, you're gonna feel other certain way. It's so deep. It is so deep. And that's why I feel like domestic abuse too. I feel like, and I'm not making any excuse for any abusers, but I've always felt like
I agree with that, Elisa.
men or women that abuse, I have always felt it was because of something that had happened to them, to where they want to get even almost, and they don't realize they want to get even, and they're taking it out on the wrong person.
What do we just call that? The abuse that's just reactive abuse. Is that the same thing?
Reactive abuse. Maybe it is. I don't know. I don't know if it is or not. But I will say this: I took a lot of my anger on people that I shouldn't have, all because I was mad at my mother. I'll be honest. I was mad at her, and a lot of those
displaced
anger issues.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like a lot of abusers have displaced anger.
Yeah, we talked about
this is where it's all coming from. Like everything you're speaking, it's clear. It's clear. Like really.
You like seriously, like I'm not even trying to make excuses for your wife, but you said she's
Oh, I
from another
don't
country, right?
need
She's
to.
from
Yeah.
another country. You have
Yeah.
there's probably certain things she has not told you
Oh
that
yeah.
she's went through where
Everything.
everything, and if she would just talk about it and let it
She
go, she
won't.
would feel better, but she won't because she's not
You want
ready.
to know
But there
hear
will
the
be a
answer?
time where she
I don't
will.
deserve it. That's the
You
answer.
might not deserve.
In
You
your
know what?
opinion?
In your opinion, you don't deserve it, but
No, that's literally the words coming out of her mouth.
You don't deserve the truth. You don't deserve the history or
you know
something.
why you
Anything.
don't deserve the truth or the history? I will tell you why. A long time I hid the truth and history about myself because I literally was afraid of judgment. I was afraid of rejection, and I also was afraid of
Privacy.
all the crit. No, it wasn't even that. It was
True.
all the criticism I was going to get from my past. I lied a lot about my past. I had in a lot of relationships. I would tell people
How old are you?
I'm 30 something. Don't be asking me how old I am. I'm just
No, I'm saying
Yeah,
she's
bro, that's-
25.
Pop. Damn.
That's,
I'm just saying
man,
she's
that's-
25. You've had a lot more time to learn.
Yeah, I just put
Whoa,
this
whoa,
way.
we
I
did
got
it again.
Don't
just put this way.
fucking go
I got
there. We're
six
being
kids.
real here,
I
jackass.
got
All
six
right.
kids, and I will not reveal my real age, and I will never reveal my age. And my
I'm just
grandmother
fucking
never
with you.
revealed her
So,
age until the
either
day
way.
she died. So I'm not saying shit. Anyway, I'm saying that because she's 25, I know what she's feeling at 25. Okay,
Yeah.
the older she gets, the more she will really calm down. Okay, the older she gets, my mother went from being a psycho crazy, I'm gonna beat my kids, I'm gonna lie to everyone, I'm gonna tell my kids they got different fathers, to where we had to do 23andMe's to figure out if we were really related to or not. So all of this, to now she is supportive, she has calmed down, and she has really been like, hey, my daughter smokes weed, she does her show, and you better leave my daughter alone, she can do what she wants. So the older we get, I feel the calmer it gets. The older. And you got to realize too, she got a lot of estrogen right now, and she got a lot of stuff going on hormonal, and we got a lot of hormone issues. And if your hormone ain't balanced in check, there's a lot of things. She might just have a hormone imbalance right now. We don't
Yeah,
even
but
know.
it's past the point because it's been ran over twice with a car and more. So I'm done with that.
Oh, she's definitely like my mom. My mom used to do that. My mom did that to her third husband.
Oh.
And now she's the
over that
nicest
shit.
lady in the world. I'm just saying, now she's the nicest lady in the world. It's so weird. It's strange.
Yeah.
It's weird.
That's what I'm saying.
But it
it's gonna
took
be someone
years
else.
to do that. It's just gonna be.
It's gonna be someone else because I'm too far gone. It's resentment now. It's
You are
irritation.
so right, Sarah. You are so right.
Sarah
And you
says
don't
it's
know
important
who
to know
you are.
yourself through, though, because I'm saying important to
I
know
read it.
yourself,
Like
though,
more or less,
because
I'm trying to
you
like.
let
I
yourself
want her to have the
Cat's
absolute
right,
best
too.
life.
I'm trying to read it for the audience. All right.
Like I want to have it for
Move
the
on.
absolute best
Bro.
life.
It's true. Even that, you can't spend your years waiting for someone, to try to fix himself. That's another thing. You can't. If you ain't willing to fix
That's what
yourself,
I'm saying.
I gotta fix me. If you're at that point, you gotta fix yourself. I'm sorry, honey. I will be the one to tell you right now.
To want to ever
You
That's
gotta
what I
take
said
care
about
of you.
there's that wall where they don't want to help themselves, and you shouldn't waste your effort and your time because that's a drain and causing you
Because I
negativity
could waste
in your
another
life.
10, 20 years. But guess what? I ain't getting that time back. I could get money back. I don't give a shit.
Sarah says
Can't get time.
accountability. When you choose to interact with others and tell them you love and care, that also takes being vulnerable. Sometimes you get hurt, but you can't say you aren't being authentic in that way. Yeah. I mean, you can't shut yourself off from people, but you can definitely guard yourself a little better next time. You know?
Look,
I say boundaries. Create boundaries.
On the same point though, there's always that point, no matter what it is, you have to take a risk. You know what I'm saying? And that's life. That is life.
Yeah.
It's how we react to what we're dealt with. We have to learn, we have to grow, and that's a part of fixing yourself and growing. So when you stay with that person that's not willing to help themselves, you're not growing.
Yeah.
Spooky Stoner, what do you think? How you feel? How you doing over there? Rolling them up?
Spooky's like listening and
She-
smoking.
I-
She's like, I'm
I-
vibing, I'm chilling.
Yeah, no,
I am.
she's
I'm
almost
being
broke my
attacked by my
ball.
animals.
oh,
She's like, I'm playing with
Mine was-
Just
animals.
muted.
Mine
Took that
was
bitch
hitting
over
me.
and scared the shit out of myself.
Shouldn't have to fight the fight.
You
your loved
so
one,
right.
yeah.
You right, Sarah. You ain't lying. You right too.
Yeah, but
You
Sarah, I got to push back a little bit on that because love isn't really easy. It's not necessarily
It's
easy.
not.
to
Love
make
is
that
very
work.
complicated.
You do
and
have to work
sometimes
hard
you do
on
gotta
it.
fight.
It's hard
Sometimes
work.
you gotta fight.
Honestly,
wasn't
that
meant to
can
be.
literally
Right.
like show up
Excuse
out
me,
of
y'all.
nowhere, and you don't even know what fucking hits you, and you can't explain it.
There's
Yeah, but
different
that's-
levels.
that's
there's
lust. That's
different
temporary.
kinds.
That feeling's
I was gonna
temporary.
say you got different types of love. Now, if you got someone that you love and they being a total like shithead
Right, I
and you
believe
can't
that.
help
Yeah.
them no more and all that,
Well,
that's different. But
that
if you
sets
got
a point.
someone,
Yeah,
that's I think that's where you at, Trent.
there's the chemistry type thing. Like, I don't have. There's no chemistry here. It's none whatsoever.
It shouldn't be hell,
Yeah,
but
and see,
for
if
anyone,
that's yeah.
anyone that's been
Sorry.
in love, there's a
Yeah, like-
different kind
Yeah.
of pain
It's a
and
whole
hurt.
thing.
Yeah.
You know what I
I
mean?
I
will-
can't
There's
go on about it.
sacrifice. There's, you know what I'm
I
saying?
could go on
There's-
about it for a year.
Yeah.
Intentional
I'm
intentional
so telling the
discomfort
truth
for
right now.
future gain, right?
Right.
I'm not gonna waste 20 years of my life and just no.
You don't need to waste 20 years of your life of highs and lows.
When
but
you
know what?
look, I
No,
when
she
you've
didn't
been
say she
through
wasted.
it,
I think she's just
Different.
saying that's how long she was with. I think she's just saying she's been with
23.
her man.
Oh, you've been in 20. Oh, well,
yeah, I think
girl,
that's
if you
all she's
married,
saying. Yep.
girl, I'm about to spend 20, 30, 40 years of highs and lows. I don't know how this shit gonna go. Hell.
Right, I agree, Kat. And
Exactly.
Elisa posted up earlier, so I guess I can talk about it. Her man likes to tiptoe around the baloney hole. So if you have that in your life, that will also help you get to 23 years, I think. She worded it differently. Yeah.
Wait. Whoa,
Yeah, she
whoa,
worded
whoa,
it differently.
Whoa,
That's just my
whoa,
phrasing.
whoa. Okay, you know what? I'm
But
not going
no,
there.
listen,
I'm
I'm just saying it's funny, but it's also true though. Like you got to
Yes.
some things will no, I'm not. Listen, I'm not. I'm serious, Elisa. You posted up about it, and I'm telling
It's
you,
a
what,
two-way street.
it's true because you got to find somebody that the good outweighs the bad. Put it that way, I guess. Right? Everybody's got downsides. Am I wrong?
So we have more good days than bad
No one's
days.
agreeing with you.
Nobody agrees with me. Okay.
Right?
I went through a lot of different emotions there. I'm sorry.
I watched a comedian.
That's why I'm like, I'm
recently that
surprised
talked
my
about that.
anxiety let me to fucking handle this right now because it's been a fucking nightmare at some points.
Sarah says, I think that's where boundaries come to help.
You're all right,
Find
man.
the people worth it to you and your self-respect.
Like, because I had a fucking panic attack during one of my lives a while back.
And I'm realizing what was acceptable and to have in my life. Yeah, I agree.
I started loving myself.
You start to
You
realize
start
what you're
with
worth.
yourself.
You're a
you
booty
start...
licker. You're a booty licker.
That's right.
Okay, can we not talk about the booty liquor? Because I don't. Hey, you know what? All right,
good
all
stuff.
You have
y'all
a
need.
funny sister for
Everyone
that way,
needs
Wayne?
to do exactly. I don't even want to see it. Don't
Everyone
dare do
has
that,
their own
Waylon.
kink.
Okay, stop. Let's not talk about. Damn.
That's a different show.
Well,
Can
hold
we
on
wait
though.
for
No,
next
This is
Friday
supposed to
on
be
that?
humorous.
that ties in.
I'm like this.
This is supposed to be humorous.
No, that ties in actually, because sometimes you don't know it until you're with somebody for a long enough time, but their kink might get
Okay, I'll leave
progressively
it at
more
this.
aggressive.
You can't have a
And-
healthy relationship without a healthy sexual relationship.
You're right,
So,
but I'm saying if it gets violent,
I will
You have
say
to
2
make those
times a day
boundaries.
is okay.
okay, all right,
Sometimes 4.
but that can be that could be a domestic violence to some people.
All it's gonna be is domestic violence, like what she said about Johnny. Yeah, he threw me on the wall, and he did
That's what I'm
throw
saying.
me
It could be
against the
crippling.
wall.
It could be crippling in some
Cripple
cases.
me. You can cripple me. I tell my husband that all the time. Just go ahead. If I can't walk right in the morning, I'll
Well, that
survive.
can be
I'll take a.
emasculating. That can be totally emasculating. What if he's in the middle? He's like, it's not hard enough. It's got to go. Like you just like you make him feel like that would make me feel like I have this.
My husband
certain
can do
level to
whatever
get
he
to.
wants. My husband can do whatever he wants. I
Like
don't
she
care.
wants me to hurt her. I don't know. I can't do it that hard.
My husband, if my husband wants to grab me against the wall, go ahead, grab me, baby. I don't even give a shit. Do whatever.
Well, you got to get consent.
I gotta
maybe
spend
get it
the
on
rest.
video.
I say I know I can't say it on this.
You go with the flow.
I'm gonna tell you what I
Go
say.
with the flow.
I'm gonna tell you
Cat, not gonna
privately
say
what
no.
I said. I'm
Exactly.
not gonna say
You
no
won't
to
be licking
nothing.
ass.
I don't know, because I'm just being honest. My
That's
husband,
right.
the other day, the other day, I don't want to spread secrets. All I'm saying is the more
we don't
and more
wanna
I
know.
stay married, all I'm just saying, I be like, where'd that come from?
Hey, the Kama
That's what I
Sutra
mean,
book.
man.
I'm like, what you reading? Or did we already know how to do this and you just easing me into
People
it because you
people
didn't know?
change and grow, even
It's
though you're
called
with
Karma
them.
Sutra.
You don't always change it together. So,
Girl, you better pull this. Girl, stop. You gonna get me off. You gonna get me kicked off this live. Stop talking.
Only a little rough in the bedroom can pull my
Look
hair
what
a
I
little
got
tight.
today, Waylon. Look what I got today, Waylon.
let's find out.
I got dabs.
Oh, finally, good for
Trinity.
you. I'm out.
There you
basically.
go.
I got dabs from Trinity.
What was
The
the
only
deal?
problem is there was no deal, and I'm never
I
buying
hate
from
that.
them again.
Why would you
I hate
even
the
buy
other
it to
one worse.
begin with?
Because my guy is.
I don't like the other
Well,
one.
hey,
worse,
you got
though.
dollar for dollar, right? You got points, right? You got points,
No,
right?
because I'm not medical, because I fucked up and let my medical expire and I gotta recertify, which I will at some point, but I'm lazy. But I'm just gonna say my God, he's
Sarah.
out of town, so I'll be all right in like
Lisa.
3 weeks, you know,
Dick
and
Elk's
stuff.
probably not that far.
That's what I'm saying. I got. So I'm gonna say I'm gonna get kicked off the live.
So you're saying it fell off the back of a truck?
The next,
bed like that. I used to have a bed like that. That was a sleigh bed. I gotta stain it and everything.
Put it this way. Let's just say Pookie gonna have something
Hair
on the
pulling,
back.
ass slapping. Don't be a pansy.
Yeah,
really don't.
Cat,
it's called go with the flow.
Cat,
Listen.
Can I address Cat real quick? Can I address Cat? Just real quick.
Go
Cat,
ahead.
last night, Cat, what you just said, that's all I'm gonna say. And I was shocked to hell. I was so shocked that I said, well, goddamn, I wasn't even mad. I was like, what the shit, you could have did that 7 months ago. I'm gonna get in Facebook jail too. We both are. Shut up,
I don't
Cat.
know
Shut
if
up.
you
We're
can.
not talking about that.
Well, pretty much.
Like, okay. Like,
if you can't, have you ever had sex while driving? Because that's fucking fun.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna say that that's something that happened a few days ago. So whatever. But it was like, whoa! I was like, who are you? But you know what? Stop talking about this. We can't talk because you know me. I be talking too much.
Ima was gonna say something. He left.
I'm gonna say go be right back. I think
showers.
He is high and stuff.
Good old showers.
Hi. Do you want to talk about domestic violence or something?
You gotta have the cold shower. That's all.
Oh boy!
Fuck that cold shower.
So from this talk, we can all agree that doesn't mean domestic violence when you're spanking that booty in the bedroom.
No, but it can keep you involved in domestic violence.
I don't know. It could be consensual domestic violence.
It can keep you involved. It can actually keep you involved in domestic violence too.
Now, it could be consensual domestic violence.
Listen, the sex could be so good, you'd continue getting your ass whatever.
Consensual
no,
domestic
Kathy.
violence.
It's called
Hope
you
you
could
didn't get
continue
hurt.
getting it because of it.
Consensual that. Go ahead.
Sex
Listen,
and
Kathy,
car
y'all
total,
got me
marital that
acting ghetto
dude,
as hell on this live.
you're supposed to use a pickup truck with a bench seat. Nothing. You sit in the center. Look over the
Ima, go
shoulder.
ahead, Ima.
Are we
Noobs.
still? We're in the same subject.
Yep,
Don't be
go
using a
ahead.
car while
No, we're
driving.
not
That's
talking.
just
We're not
crazy
talking
shit.
about sex anymore. Come on back.
We're not. I'm talking about crashing a car.
We're talking about how that is not considered domestic
I'll get in
violence.
trouble. I can't.
All right, can't talk about.
I know
Either
what's
way.
considered. I know what's considered not domestic violence.
What?
Hey, what's up, Jay?
When you push somebody. Stop saying when you push somebody, you all hurting shit. Quit doing that.
Well,
Oh,
that's the
freaking
problem.
crybabies.
Is that like Amber Heard, you could just fall down and get a bruise, get a on purpose. Oh, look what you did! Like so, in my situation, I was trying to leave. I was trying to get myself out of the situation, and she went and sat in the driver's seat without my. I had my keys, but I couldn't leave. She sat in my driver's seat, so I'm trying to get her out. Oh, you're
It's
gonna bruise
always
me.
the
You're gonna
toxic
bruise me.
ones, Cap.
So
Always.
yeah, it was on purpose. So and I was just gonna walk home. I started walking.
You know what's so bad? Cat just said something that like took me back to a day where I had to deal with somebody who
That's
was
what I'm
so
saying. Like,
freaking
that's
toxic. But you know
We're
what?
screaming.
Oh my God, was it?
We can hear you.
like that's
And
what
it
it
was
was.
so
I know.
hard. It was so
I'm
hard
gonna
to
have to
walk
turn.
away.
It's called
turn you
So
down.
hard
withholding.
to walk away.
I'm just gonna turn you
Holding
down a
now.
little bit. That way you can still speak at full volume.
I'm trying to
There you
remember the
go.
last time I had sex with my wife now, because I don't know. I don't care.
Sarah, 1,000%.
I stopped that
My
shit.
ex was
Fuck
toxic,
that.
but we had.
I'm gonna go eat. I'll be back.
Fuck that.
Okay,
Why didn't
we're
you
probably
just
gonna
eat
wrap up
live?
here shortly.
Bye.
Fuck
Eat
it.
live, yeah. Still
Oh,
talking
I'm
about sex,
addicted,
yeah.
honey.
So
I'm
just
addicted.
I think it's
there's
intimacy
literally
that
you
is
can
important.
literally do
Oh my God.
there's AA meetings for that shit too.
Sexaholics Anonymous.
I did. I had to go
All right,
to one of
I think
them,
we've
in
pretty
and out.
much beat this topic, guys. I really appreciate you guys coming out. I think it was an interesting trial, but all in all, it did bring to light that this goes both ways, that this goes all the way up to the rich, all the way down to the poor. You know, we've seen it on cops. We've seen it. Now we've seen it at the elite level. So hopefully next time maybe we can get like a doctor or somebody on that would give us a different take on this. But
You'd have to be a retired doctor. Probably.
maybe you can word it in a way like they can talk about the facts and not talk about their opinion on what you should do, like not give advice. Anyway, point is, thank you guys for coming. I think that's gonna about do it for us. We could keep going probably for forever on this subject. I think the one takeaway is that there's a lot of sources of different ways to get help. So let me pull up the one again. The National Domestic Violence Hotline. It's called the hotline.org. So that's a U.S. hotline, you guys. So if you need help, there's places to look and maybe sort of dabble and sort of dip your toe in before you have to, alert the person that you're worried about. So anyway, I'm rambling, but thanks a lot, guys. Until next week, we're going to do something. Oh, Jules just popped out. I was going to let everybody. So
I just noticed what we were doing.
I'm just trying to wrap up and get us out of here.
2:42. All right. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, we're good. We beat this topic pretty good, but it's definitely important. Ima, thanks a lot for stopping in.
I think I need to go to Sexaholics.
Yeah, maybe. Peace out, everybody in the comments. Thanks a lot, you guys. Appreciate you guys stopping in. Thanks, Kathy. And I think that'll work. That'll do it. Peace out, everybody.
Peace out.
Later.